Welcome to the 151st Open Championship from Royal Liverpool Golf Club. This club has staged the championship on 13 occasions. And my goodness, what a day we had on practice day one. Day two today, and we're on air until 6 o'clock tonight. We are set up for a brilliant day, and it's fantastic to be down here on the range. Yesterday, caught up with so many golfers, including Rory McIlroy, fresh off the back of winning the Scottish Open. We have unparalleled access, and we are bringing you a major championship like never before. Our reporters out on the course. Cameras literally everywhere, analysis, speaking to players, coaches, caddies. Yesterday I was joined by Peter Finch. Today, a man who finished 15th here in 2014, David Howe. Good to see you, David.
Good morning.
We're going to show you some of the best bits from day one. Did you celebrate last night at all?
I had a couple of glasses of wine.
Yeah.
Nothing.
Red or white?
Red.
Okay.
Yeah. But nothing too.
Too crazy.
Yeah, nothing too crazy.
Yeah.
Padraig, welcome back.
Thank you.
Have fun out
You're
there.
the official welcoming committee.
I'm the official welcoming party.
I actually played the Brabazon Trophy here in 2010. I have one of the best pictures of me on a golf course ever from that moment. I can show it to you if you want.
You got it with you now?
Yeah, I'll
Great,
grab
let's
one.
have a look.
Always on hand.
It's on his
I've
phone.
saved it as
Okay.
a favourite because now I can only dream of having that amount of hair. There's not a lot.
Yeah,
It's
it's
going
okay.
backwards, receding, and I'm fine with it.
Yeah.
I don't really care. But
That's a good
this,
head of hair,
this
Tyrrell.
picture is off the charts.
Right. Well, can you see that? That's insane.
no, that's
It's like
fake.
a lion's mane.
That's not you.
Yeah, as
No
long
way.
as-
It's just remarkable hair.
There
I was mucking around with Scotty's clubs actually.
Oh, were you? What were you doing?
He's just got a new driving iron in and he said to hit one, so I hit
Oh,
one.
okay.
Yeah.
Okay, how did that go?
Yeah, it was good.
Yeah, awesome.
What colour are those pants, Rory? It's like a soft little salmon. Dusty pink. Okay.
Rock and roll bag for a rock and roll player.
Yeah.
I hope you guys had the Pro Trace on that because that was pretty good.
Yeah, we got the Pro Trace on that one, Tom. That was a good one.
He's good enough to compete here. He wouldn't be here if he wasn't.
Oh, it's emotional. It really is. Oh, Sean.
Let's get it around in quick. Back to the goal.
Oh,
The camera comes down and he starts crying now.
It's absolutely gorgeous.
Him and my mother and my family,
Yeah.
they've all been a massive support of me since I started playing golf 10 years ago.
Can we give you a challenge? Can you carry it 170? Did you hit it? Did you get it? Cool.
I like it. Touch line, we'll see.
Oh yeah, 166 on our stuff. I don't think we're not normalized. So I don't know if you're normalized.
169.4.
Yeah, sweet. Okay, 4 yards off. That's so cool.
You were watching this morning?
I was watching this morning, yeah.
Was there nothing else to watch?
There was nothing else on TV.
There's nothing else on. Right.
Noel Horan checking in, saying a little bit of, how's your father? He's just here for one day only.
I was talking to Shane and Porrick and
Yeah.
Rory, and it was just like only Open Championship winners allowed.
Yes,
in this.
yeah, no, can
I was
you
like, I'm going to step away, please.
If I get myself into a similar position this week, I will certainly draw on what I did last week. But, you know, as of right now and getting prepared for this tournament, all that has to sort of be put on the back burner, and I just have to focus on getting ready to tee off on Thursday.
Good to see you, David, here on the range. Some of the best bits from yesterday, and my goodness, it was a real treat to speak to so many of the players, including Rory. You were at the Scottish Open last week.
I was.
In fact, just 2 days ago, wasn't it?
Yes.
I'm confused what day it is. It's Tuesday.
We are on Tuesday.
We're
Well done.
on
It's
Tuesday.
July.
Yes, it's
2023.
Thanks, David.
There we go.
Tell us about Rory's victory, just how well he played, especially on that back nine.
It's amazing. I was doing on-course commentary, and when Bob McIntyre finished, I actually saw him. I didn't say, well done, you've won it, but something to that effect almost. But you never know with Rory on the golf course. What a finish. I mean, my goodness. That's the best I've ever seen, I think. To birdie those 2 holes under that, it was absolutely brilliant, breathtaking.
Yeah, and what kind of position does it put him in now for this week coming into the Open? Obviously, we've got to think about last year, the Open Championship at St Andrews, and he just couldn't do it on those final 18 holes. Any scar tissue from that?
No, I don't think so. Do you know, your first point of that question was, what does that do for him going into this? Yeah, thanks for that.
Yeah,
listen, to birdie the last 2 holes, I don't care whether it's your first tournament, your 300th, your 40th win or whatever Rory's won, that's really current good vibes, isn't it?
Yeah.
He holed a putt on the last in that amazing theatre with everybody there, kind of rooting for Bob, really, wanting him to miss. Let's say we all love Rory, and the Scottish fans love Rory, but maybe not on the Sunday afternoon of the Scottish Open with Bob in the clubhouse.
Yeah.
But still, he rolled that 12-footer in, or whatever it was, after the best 2-iron you'll ever see to win. He's going to bring that thought with him into this week, not what happened 52 weeks ago at St Andrews.
Yeah.
Well, that's what I would do.
He said, I said to him, come on, you've got to take some of those good vibes. But he did say, he was quite specific, this is a total reset. But you do take the confidence from winning the Scottish Open. He's not won for 6 months.
Listen,
how much does it do? How many wins have you got? 6 wins on the DP World Tour?
5, but I wish it was 6.
We were discussing it before. It's 5, Di. It's 5.
Yes, yeah.
When was your last one?
A little while ago.
Okay.
2013.
Your age.
2013.
A couple of Ryder Cups as well.
Me.
My goodness. And 15th here at the Open.
Yes, that was nice. Yeah, that was a good week.
Gorgeous.
That was my best Open, actually. I was sort of in the top 20 all week. I finished 7th at Birkdale with a 66 last round. That was quite funny, actually. I'd gone from 70th to leader in the clubhouse, and I'd set off to head back to Swindon in the car. The leaders hadn't even gone out. And when I got to Birmingham, 2 hours into my journey, I was still leader in the clubhouse. I actually had to start slowing down.
You're joking.
Yes, honestly, I was down to 50 on the motor. I'm going to miss the playoff here if I don't, a point of no return.
How fast was the heart?
Oh, it was going. Well, I was quite excited, but I was like, this is nerve-wracking. Where's David for the playoff? No, he's in Swindon. And then thankfully...
Is it a service station in Swindon?
I think I actually cheered when Poulter, in my car, when he actually got in the clubhouse ahead of me. Oh, thank goodness, how embarrassing would that have been? So that was that one. But so I sort of snuck into the top 10. This one, 2014, I was in the top 20 all week. It was lovely.
Oh, was it?
Really nice.
It's gone pretty easy.
Well, it's never easy for me, but it was as easy as I can remember it being.
But speaking to players, when you're playing well, it's easy, isn't it?
Yeah, I was in a good run of form and everything just flowed nicely. And then, I came up I think I played with Justin Rose the last day. And, it was lovely, And that walk into the amphitheatre of the last, down the 18th. Don't care who you are. I mean, obviously, I've not experienced being the winner. Rory won that week. But for everyone, whether it's 11 in the morning or 5 in the afternoon, whether you're in 70th or 15th or 14th place, it's an amazing walk. The hair's on the back of your neck. It's lovely. Really nice. Special.
You've been to the barbers as well?
I have, Matthew Jordan's barber, actually.
Yeah? Oh.
Yeah, so I was told, yes.
My goodness, Matthew Jordan. He looks good, doesn't he? He looks great. I mean,
look at this.
Not
one
much
all
to
over.
trim, though, David.
Well,
but,
okay. There's no need for that. Yeah, I see Robert Rock over there on the range somewhere with a head of hair. So jealous.
I know. We were speaking about it yesterday. Tyrrell Hatton, actually, speaking about his hair, because he showed me a picture of his hair in the Brabazon Trophy when he played here in 2010. My goodness, I did say it was like a lion's mane. He can hear me. Can you pan over to Tyrrell? He's just pointed. We're talking about your hair, Tyrrell. It's gone global. I know. But he was a great spot, I tell you what. He was in a really good mood yesterday.
He was in a good mood last week. I walked with him last week on the course.
Did you?
On course, and he was chattering away to me. It was very nice, moaning about his 6-iron and his 8-iron. Worst shots I've ever seen. Have you ever seen 2 worst shots? I said, Tyrrell, you're 2 under. You're doing okay. No, that was terrible. It's embarrassing.
Oh.
I said, yeah, but nearly wins. Nearly wins the tournament.
It's not good enough, though.
Well, no, he had an unfortunate finish,
but golfers
didn't he?
like to persecute themselves. I've got so much to chat to you about, David, including Matthew Jordan, who's the first to tee off on Thursday at 6:30. You've done the tee shot here as well. Back in 2014. We're going to speak about that in just a moment. We've got to get out to the course because George Harper Jr. is with a player to watch. We're going to go that way.
And great morning for Lynx Golf. If you weren't watching yesterday, hello, I'm George Harper Jr. and I'm the man on the ground here for live at the range. So apologies in advance. You're going to see a lot of me popping up here, there and everywhere. Where am I right now? I am on the walkway to the first tee. This is where players come as they settle the nerves, or as the nerves build for a lot of them. Where do they come from, you might ask? Well, let's have a look out here. We've got the second green just here. We've got the chipping area in the media centre over there, and then the open clubhouse. Fantastic facility for the players. That's where they relax, get their coffees, licorice all sorts. We're not allowed in that part. That's where they try and get away from people like me, which is absolutely fair enough. And then they come up here, and it is an absolutely Lovely walk. You can see everything up here. It's great stuff. You've got the third hole, which for members is traditionally the first right here. Internal out of bounds. Very scary if you've got a little slice in the bag. But grandstand finish, 18. As you can see there, it doesn't get much better than this later on this week. That will be jam-packed to the rafters. But today, I'm going to be roaming around. We're going to go find some players on course. We might pop to the new 17th hole and have a look out there. But I can't wait to bring you some of the inside scoops.
Oh, thank you very much, George. He works really hard, out and about on the course all day, schmoozing basically.
Oh, very good.
Oh,
what a nice
schmoozing.
job.
I know, he was following Rory and Shane and Podrick yesterday.
Poor lad. He probably needs a day off then. I mean, that's a tough day at work, isn't it?
No, he does a sterling job, our George. Now, I alluded to the fact that you hit the tee shot here. First tee shot back in 2014, 6:30 a.m.
Yes.
And what were you wearing?
Lime luminous green T-shirt. Now I'm kind of a beige or blue man normally.
Yeah, you look like a beige or blue.
Thanks. And sponsors said lime green. I think they had some old stock they were trying to get rid of or something. Can you wear the lime green?
Why would they do that?
So
Why?
I turn up. I mean, it was like 5 in the morning or something. The only people around are the car park attendants who are wearing black trousers and lime green vests. So we actually got a photo of me with them. I mean, I started directing a few cars into the car park. Come on in, Adam Scott. You park over here. Yeah.
David.
I was so nervous.
I mean,
I was more nervous than the first tee of the Ryder Cup, I think. It was very strange.
Oh, my goodness.
Weird first tee nerves.
Yeah. It's quite dark as well.
It was not with my luminous green on, it wasn't.
You lit up that first
putting their shades on. Crikey. So, I got the full heebie-jeebies. And, my putting coach, Phil Kenyon, he actually took some, personal film from behind the grandstand of me. Shortest swing. I can make a short swing.
Okay, show us how short it
I mean,
was.
full driver. I mean, it hasn't gone past here. And I sort of nudge. Everything you wouldn't want in a golf swing I produced for the world to watch.
Look at that follow-through.
With
Stop there.
the bendy leg and the follow through. Awful. Anyway, it was all right. That was 15th that week. That wasn't bad.
Listen.
But it was do you know what? It was a really,
story.
really nice honour, joking aside. And Matthew will, he'll have a few nerves possibly, but the local support he's got. And it's, listen, there's only so many times you're given that honour. It used to just come out of the hat and you think, well, okay, that's nice.
Yes.
But now they place you there on purpose. It's a really nice thing, so I was very honoured and it had the right effect on me. I was properly nervous.
Can you remember what you got on the first hole?
I think I made a par, actually.
Excellent.
I think I did, yeah.
Despite the
interesting
drive.
The low,
it's the knees.
Melting left leg.
It's the dipping knees. I don't think you can see these knees, can you?
Yeah, it's just sort of like that. Like that. Yes, not good.
Every golfer at home knows about those because we're all subject to them. Okay, and because you're very good at being a car park attendant, can you tell us where we're going now?
Yes, we go down over there, take a right, and it's over on the left.
Okay, yeah, because over on the right is actually
there we go.
Tommy Fleetwood over here.
Shall we go and see if we can speak to Tommy?
Let's go and see if we can.
He's got a cardigan on.
Do you like a cardigan?
He can. I can't do cardigans.
Would it annoy you when you're playing golf?
Yeah, I'm not so sure. I think it probably would, yeah. But he's doing very nicely with it. Yeah. Focus the launch monitor out.
We'll ask in just a second. Obviously, 2019, let's reflect on that. A second place finish behind Shane Lowry, coming here. And what kind of form is Tommy in right now?
Very nice. He was in was his last group last week or second last group, I forget.
Open.
Yeah, playing beautifully. I mean, look at that. It's just rifling 3 woods there. He's been in great form all year, and I think he's really enjoying this links season. It's almost, I was going to say grass court season there for a minute. I'm in the wrong sports. What are we doing?
I was there for a couple of weeks. It was great.
Very
really
nice.
Fantastic.
But yeah, a bit of links golf. And this is a mini driver Tommy's got in the bag. It's, it is what it says, a mini driver. It's like a 2-wood, I guess, in old money. One to pierce into the wind off the deck.
I spoke to Cameron Smith yesterday, and he took one of Adam Scott's clubs out of the bag to try a driving 2-iron, and I said, how did it go? He went, yeah, really well. Players will be using they want to have a few stingers out on this golf course this week.
They do, anything to get the ball going low and forward, yeah, so lots of 2-irons. I actually saw someone with a 1-iron, but they're not quite like 1-irons like they used to be, of course.
1-iron? How many people at home can play with a 1-iron?
Well, not many, but but it's got a big cavity back. It's not like a bladed 1-iron, but yeah, nice to see the one on it.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's the 2-wood for Tommy. So
I'm just going to see if
or
we can
the mini driver, I think.
Tommy, I don't suppose we could have a quick chat with you. Hello. Hi, team. Is this okay?
Very hard to say no, because then you'll look like, what's the matter with Tommy?
Yeah, if that's okay. Sorry. Morning. Hi, guys. Just complimenting your cardigan. It looks great.
Do you like this one?
Yeah, it's really cool.
Thank you. Yeah, it's got easy, but I can do these buttons, see, it's not as hard for me.
It's a little bit creased, Tommy, but that's okay. It's just kind of fresh out the bag.
Is it creased?
No, it's fine. Looks great. Do you like it,
He's
David?
doing us a favour here.
I know, sorry.
You can abuse me.
Great
nice
hair.
to the guests.
Awesome hair. It's like not as great. Yes. How are you?
Yeah, good, thanks.
Yeah, Scottish Open.
I was better when I thought that I didn't know it was creased.
It's not that creased. Can you tell at home? Can everyone in my ear see that it's creased? Oh no, they're saying it looks great on telly. Looks
that's
really
good. That's all that matters.
Yeah, it is. Listen, David was up at the Scottish Open just telling me how well you played up there. How do you feel you played?
I did play well. I think that, come on that Sunday, I think the margins were pretty small. Hole a couple of birdie puts to go with like the par saves I made, and then one tee shot on 13, and then the last was a bit of a sickener, so touched through my whole round basically. So there you go. But no, I felt like I played really well. I think Hal, you came out with the second round, didn't you? Where I wasn't in the best of shape after 8 holes in the second round.
Yeah.
And then, kept going, turned it around, played well, and yeah, it's nice to show a bit of form and make sure that you keep believing in them.
Yeah, I saw you actually at Sunningdale as well with Justin
did.
Rose, which
Played
was
well
really. You played really well. You chipped in on the 18th. It was the centenary of the new course. It was great. So many. Basically, the whole club came out and was watching on 18, and so many junior members, and it was brilliant. I loved it because I've got a little girl, a little boy, and all the children said afterwards, my goodness, and they have been speaking about it since then, just saying how amazing it was to meet you. So inspiring the next generation, Tommy. But David, up in Scotland, I mean, the conditions, they were brutal, weren't they?
Oh, Sunday, unbelievably. I mean, you hung in there really well. You were par, it looked good. I wasn't following your group. I jinxed every group. I was delighted I wasn't with you. Honestly, everywhere I moved, someone dropped a couple of shots. It was an absolute disaster.
Oh.
Yeah, until Bobby Mack at the end. But it was a good tournament, wasn't it?
It was a great tournament. I think the course is growing year on year. Like pretty much any links course, the conditions make it, and I think it played really well again for another year. Obviously, had a great winner in Rory, so that's always a good showing for the golf course. Yeah, it's great. It's always good to see so many of the world's best players playing in one tournament at a time.
Yeah, so many. We've been reminiscing actually over the last few days about Open Championship 2019, second place finish, coming back to the Open. I mean, we talk about it every year, don't we? But you must have feel-good factors coming back to an Open Championship and playing on links golf, wanting to do well. How is the headspace right now?
I love the Open. I really do. I think. When you want something so much, like the Open is, my favourite event, and I'd love to win it. It comes with its own sort of mental challenges, if you like. But I think the important thing is to go on, Hal. I thought you were going to say something.
No.
Do you know he hit the first tee shot here in 2014?
I do. I remember.
Do you remember his jumper?
I do. It was you were one of the volunteers, weren't you? 2014 was actually my first ever Open as well. So
really,
that was cool. Yeah,
is that right?
2014 was my first one.
How did you get on?
I had a nice round of golf on Saturday somewhere else, so missed the cut.
Okay. You played this course quite a few times.
I beat him, Di. I beat him.
15th again.
Yeah, I played it a lot. Somebody asked me actually the other day, they said you must know this place really well, and I think I thought about it, and the last time I played it was that Friday the Open in 2014.
Right.
But I do know it quite well. I've played it as a junior a few times. And I would still class it as home for me. It's Northwest, and it's very close to me, so yeah.
Yeah, good stuff. Well, what are you doing this afternoon? What's happening?
I'm about to be late for my practice round, so I'll book another tee time.
Oh no, who are you
I'll book another tee time.
Well, you are going to. You've got to nip home and iron your jumper first.
Yeah,
as well.
Listen, everyone's so thank you very much from the team from Live at the
You're
Range.
welcome. I'll go and book my tee time. I might get out at 3 o'clock this afternoon.
You've been so kind, thank you. Oh no, what time are you due? What time is it now? 9:30. Okay, go run.
Tyrrell's still on the range.
Okay. He's playing with Tyrrell.
I forgot what we're doing.
We're over here.
Hello.
We're over here. Are you going to the first tee? We'll let him go. That was really kind of him to spend some time. Well, he couldn't really get away from us, could he?
No, it's a very good introduction. And you're on live TV. Would you like to speak to us?
Yeah.
They just can't say no,
I
can they?
know.
Maybe we can find one that does. That'll go down well, won't it?
Oh, Dave, I've missed you. It's been 12 months. My goodness. We'll take a short break. We'll be back after this.
We're told that the weather forecast for today is kind early on, with the possibility of some wet weather later.
I think Mother Nature kicks it up another notch.
Quite extraordinary. What a moment.
Welcome back to Live at the Range here with David Howell. If you are just tuning in for the first time, where have you been? We had a brilliant day yesterday and we're on air till 6 o'clock. A little bit of history for you, David, actually. First Open, do you know when the first Open was? I'm going to tell you, 1860.
Yes, that's correct.
Yes. And the first Open Championship here was 1897.
Yeah.
The course here was opened in 1869. And speaking to some of the members, they're all very, very knowledgeable about the course history here. This is the 13th staging of the Open. I love the fact that golf fans know so much about golf history. It's a sport where numbers and figures come out from everyone, isn't it?
Absolutely, yeah, indeed. How many birdies? Saturday morning at the club, isn't it? When you can. How did you get on? And they go back to the farewell, and they talk you through the round, like Tommy just did.
Yeah.
So they always start at the first, and you have to jump them through, and they know everything. Yes,
they really do.
About their own games and everyone else's.
We're just going to take a little walk down here. I have to point out again our brilliant cameraman Kevin, who walks backwards and does a marvellous job not bumping into anyone. Now,
tempting fate.
We have a very tall gentleman to our right-hand side who's winner of the Amateur Championship, Christo Lamprecht from South Africa. He's due out. He's going to play a practice round, I'm hearing, with Louis Oosthuizen and Charles Schwartzel and Brandon Grace. So the South African contingency playing together. My goodness, he's 6'5", David.
He smashes it.
Tell us a little bit about Christo and his game.
Well, I don't know so much other than I was walking the course yesterday doing a bit of prep, and Christo was on the par 5 tee, the 8th, I think, and there was a little gathering around him, Brad Faxon being one of them.
Yeah.
And they were taking film of his swing because he just hits it so far. Quite simple. How are you doing that? It was one of those jobs. He's a big guy and he swings with an enormous amount of power. He's blast. Yeah, actually, I walked forward on the 11th as well. I thought I was out of range and he nearly landed one on my head yesterday. I got it all wrong.
Oh my goodness.
320 yards into the wind. It was quite remarkable.
One at Hillside and was driving some of the par 4s.
That's annoying when you're playing against someone, isn't it? Yes.
But how does for everybody at home watching and around the world, the height of a golfer, your golf swing is going to be slightly different, isn't it?
Yeah, upright clubs, I guess. I don't know. I'm sure his clubs are a little bit longer than standard, but maybe an inch or so. Nice upright lie, probably. But he bends his legs quite a bit as well, so he finds his way to get down there. But ultimately, he's got long levers, so if he can use his body as he does, he just gets an enormous amount of clubhead speed. It's very impressive.
Should we see if we can have a quick word?
Yeah, you go in.
Christo, would it be possible to have a quick chat?
Yeah, sure.
That would be amazing.
Sure.
Great. We're live
Awesome.
at the
Would
moment.
you mind taking that picture?
And my goodness, you are tall.
Yeah, I get it a lot. Don't worry, I get it a lot.
You're playing a practice round today. Tell us, I think you're playing with Louis, with Charles, is that right? And Brandon?
Yeah, I was supposed to play with him, but Louis' back is a little sore, and I think Charles is still in bed. So I'm going to go play by myself quickly in 9 holes and kind of get some practice in afterwards.
Oh, great stuff. How are you finding this whole Open experience?
Yeah, it's a lot. It's really nice. Obviously, as an amateur, it's a really goal of mine to be here, and it's a great achievement. So I'm just going to take it one step at a time and enjoy every moment of it.
Yeah, totally. Tell us about winning the Amateur Championship and what that was like.
Yeah, obviously played a lot of good golf, and I guess
driving a few par 4s.
Yeah, something like that. I guess winning a golf tournament like that, you need a bit of luck, and you need to play a lot of good golf. So I kind of did both, and And yeah, it was a fairy tale story.
You're very impressed with this one, aren't you, David?
I am. You had a little gathering on the par 5 yesterday. Brad Faxon taking film of you. You're hitting it so far. I'm so impressed. That's cooler.
Yeah, it's pretty nice. Obviously, it's an advantage of being 6'8". You can hit it quite a long ways.
6'8".
There we go.
You nearly killed me yesterday. Actually, I was walking down I think the 12th, the dogleg left, and Brandon had hit one down by the bunkers. So I thought I went about 50 yards forward and was safe. And then one landed right next to me. I thought, oh, blimey.
Goodness gracious.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't see you. Sorry about that.
I was the guy on the floor.
Oh, luckily not.
He likes to tell a joke, this one. Brilliant, but just soaking in every moment, being here at a major championship, playing with these guys, it's just a dream come true.
Yeah, I mean, there's no expectations. There's nothing. I guess I got nothing to lose, so I'm just gonna go out here and have some fun.
Well, you've got the game though.
There we go. Yeah, we're just gonna go hit a white ball pretty far and pretty straight and have some fun.
Great stuff. Listen, have a great day, and thank you so much.
Thank you guys,
we'll
appreciate it.
Checking your scores.
Will do. Awesome.
Excellent. Great. Thank you.
Really
good to speak to him and to offer his time up, because this is their office, isn't it? This is where they do honing their skills.
Yes,
and
we're getting in their way. Yep,
we certainly are. But so much going on, as we say here, and we can go to. Oh, Rickie Fowler's just behind us.
Rickie?
We can stand over here. A lot of technology. Everyone brings their equipment, don't they?
They do. Yeah, always checking the numbers. The ball's not going as far as these guys that play in the States most of the time, obviously. So. Just good to see constantly how far that ball is going. Swing direction as well.
I mean, he's come so close in the Open before, hasn't he? Not to be, but his form, my goodness, what a turnaround.
I followed Rickie last week on course as well, and he was just hitting all the shots that's required from links golf. He really loves the challenge of hitting draws, hitting fades, high, low, really playing the game that the links courses require, and I think it puts a real spring in his step, actually. And he's in great form, obviously recent winner, and back with Butch Harmon, swinging better, and swing looks better than ever. Very different from when he first came out on tour, which is not easy to do, to change a golf swing and just get better. But you can see the club is now way more online at the top than it used to be. It's a much more orthodox golf swing than the Rickie Fowler we first saw come on the scene all those years ago.
Yeah, he's had a good time actually over the last few weeks.
Morning, Rickie.
How are you? Can we have a quick chat? Is that okay? Oh, thanks.
She's very hard to say no to with a microphone.
Oh, with a microphone, exactly. How are you doing?
I'm doing well. How are you?
Yeah, really good actually. You've been enjoying a bit of time in the UK ahead of this?
Yeah, we got a few days in London prior to last week and played Sunningdale and walked around London and went to Wimbledon. So a good way to start the trip.
Yeah, I was checking.
Nice outfit, by the way. You look good, man. You look good at Wimbledon.
Where? At Wimbledon. I saw the photos. I can't remember what you were wearing.
Well, JT had kind of a really light cream, closer to white. I had like a light tan, and then Jordan was in blue. So.
And did you chat before about what you were all wearing?
Well, we were all planning to get suits made.
Okay.
JT and I did that. Jordan didn't end up getting one made. He caught a lot of flack for his suit looking a little wrinkled.
Yes.
But in his defense, it did look good. It was the car ride, sitting in there for an hour. It didn't do him justice.
He didn't think it through. But by the sounds of it, he just didn't think it through. That's just the way it was.
Yeah.
It was the material, though. It's the material that can crease up. I know.
I think it was a little bit more of a material thing.
What was that Wimbledon experience? I was there for a couple of weeks. My goodness, it's such a brilliant championship.
Oh, it's great. It was cool to be there. That was all of our first time. To see some of the similarities to, Augusta and the Masters on our side. Got to go down there on center court. We did an interview down there, so to touch the grass.
Oh,
yeah,
it's pristine.
Yeah,
it's like one of the greens here.
Yeah, other than where obviously they play, it gets a little, beat up and worn out, but it's impressive.
Yeah. And going around London, what was that like?
It was just cool because I hadn't spent any time in proper London. I'd been to Wentworth before, but that's not really being in London.
Yeah.
Yeah, a very clean city, and then just kind of cool to walk around and see all the history.
Yeah, and Sunningdale Golf Club, I have to just mention, because I live a couple of minutes away, and so all the members, all the juniors were delighted to have you there. What did you make of the course?
It was fun. Obviously, it doesn't necessarily have the length of what we're used to, but it's a golf course that you could go play every day and have a good time.
Sausage sandwich halfway around?
I didn't. I actually wasn't feeling that good for a couple days.
Ricky.
JT and Jordan had one.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
We'll forgive you.
Famous
That's
for
fine.
those.
Okay.
I think our favorite part was probably that it's almost like a glorified dog park. Everyone, having their dogs out, and it's just it's a cool setting and cool vibe.
Yeah, I'm very scared of dogs, so every time I go running there, I do sort of twice the amount of running. Anyway, I digress massively. What's it like being here at Hoylake, back at a major championship? We were just discussing, David and I, you'll see the way you've turned everything around, the way you're playing right now, the focus, the mindset. Feeling good?
Yeah, obviously not the weekend I wanted last week in Scotland, but got some good work done to be ready for this week, and coming back to a place where we've played well before. Got to go play all 18 yesterday, kind of late in the day, and it was just fun to get reacquainted. Yeah, rest up. We'll get a little bit of work the next couple days, and yeah, be good to go for Thursday.
We've been speaking to quite a few of the guys about the 17th hole at Little Eye. Thoughts on it?
First time seeing it yesterday. I'd seen some pictures. It definitely is a little bit more of elevated green than it looks in pictures and what you would maybe think, but I think it's a great little hole. You hit a good shot, you get rewarded. I think, that's one of the maybe lost arts in the current game is a good short par 3. You see that on a lot of old links courses, and it's a great little hole. I mean, you could hit anywhere from a little wedge to try and chip a 6 or 7 iron in there if the wind gets up.
It's amazing, the club selection. It could be that range, David. It was different when you played in 2014. Finished 15th, 2014. Took the first tee shot, 6:30 a.m. in 2014, David did. And he was wearing a bright yellow neon top, which he regrets massively.
And you remember that?
No, well, we've just been speaking. I do actually. I remember it. It's famous. You don't remember?
Yeah, it wasn't good.
No.
I don't do lime green normally. That was really. I was out of my comfort zone. It was like me turning up dressed in the orange. I mean, you could. You rock the orange.
You don't need to do
it.
But
Yeah, great. Have you got your outfit sorted for this week?
Yeah, everything's kind of laid out. Usually for majors, I see everything maybe the year prior of what their Puma's thinking, and if there's anything that I may not like or the matchup, then I'll make some adjustments.
Right, okay.
But just one of many differences between us, like the golf game, everything, and the planning. I turn up and whatever comes out the wardrobe comes out unironed. Oh dear, that's another bad mix. Yes, not good.
I love the fact it's been a fashion show here live at the range this morning. Tell us, final. What are you doing over the next couple of days? What's the plan today and tomorrow?
Today, just warming up right now. Not really doing a whole lot. I know, driver, got to do a little bit of work. I was getting a little long or a little bit of run on the backswing. Just need to tighten that up. But planning to go play. We're playing at 10:30, and not sure if kind of weather stays like this and we don't get much rain, then maybe we'll just walk around, play them all again. Kind of up in the air.
Do you like the golf course?
I do, yeah. There's obviously a couple little changes from 14, but played well in 14. Like I said, it was nice yesterday just to get around and get reacquainted with the place. It's a place you have to drive it well. You got to stay out of the bunkers.
I feel like were you in the hunt in 14?
I was in I was in the final group with Rory.
Yeah.
Never really made a push, didn't get close enough, but ended up finishing second with Sergio.
You were in the hunt. There we go. Like, shows how many stats. Everyone knows stats golfers other than me. That was well played, man.
I know like who won, and maybe not the right year.
Yeah.
Couldn't tell you who finished.
You could tell me who finished 15th that year. I bet you could do that.
I got that one now.
Yeah, there we go.
I think we need to highlight the second place finish.
Yes,
brilliant. So it's a really good vibe here. It feels everyone's in a good mood on a Tuesday. Gets a little bit more serious on a Wednesday. Going into Thursday, how does the mindset switch?
Well, I think the more that you can stay relaxed, it can be beneficial. There's guys that operate differently. Some have to get kind of in that serious, major mode. But the more I feel like kind of go about it similar as you do Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and roll in and go have fun. You kind of let the conditions dictate, you know, what it is. If you get a day where it's windy, rainy, it's all about how you kind of go into it. I've had a great Saturday at Royal St. George's back in 11, probably the worst weather I've played in. And a big part of that was went into it, I feel like just optimistic about it, knowing that, hey, everyone's going to hate it. The more you can embrace it, kind of make it a challenge, and try and go have fun with it. So that's one of the big things with links golf is you never know what conditions you might get.
Yeah.
But it does offer up plenty of opportunities to hit different shots and just work your way around the course.
Yeah. Listen, Rickie, thanks so much for your time. Looking very dapper today. We're liking this outfit. Looking good.
Clean and simple.
Exactly. We like it. Thank you.
Yep.
We'll speak to you hopefully at some point during the week.
Sounds good.
Good to see
Thanks,
you.
Rickie.
Thank you. David, it's second place finish back in 2014. Rickie, he's always very chilled, calm, cool, collected. What have you made about what he's just said there?
Well, I mean, he's in great shape. Firstly, isn't it great to have Rickie Fowler playing good golf again? I mean, It's just amazing because he is one of the stars of the world game, and it was so sad to see him, struggling for a couple of years. But he's turned it round, and I think he fancies himself this week. Second last time round here, horses for courses. He's going to be one of the runners you have to think has got a chance. He
certainly is, and he mentioned the 17th there, and he really likes the hole. Divided opinion amongst some, but the majority seems to really embrace it. George is down by 17 and can bring us up to date with what it's like.
Hey guys, I'm excited to take you to this part of the course, the brand new 17th hole. Little Eye, forged by nature, won by champions. This is where the Open could be won and lost come Sunday. Look at the atmosphere out here. Such a short hole, 136 yards right from the back. But imagine the atmosphere, the tension, this brand new hole. They've flipped the par 3, so now it's a stunning infinity green. But if you're a golfer, it is so intimidating. Drop-offs on every single side. Bunkers left, right, and an absolute whopper at the front there. I've personally been there before. It's not a fun spot. You can barely see out of it. But look at this. They've got it on a really calm day as well, so it doesn't get much easier than it's playing right now. But predominantly the wind is into the tee for these players as well, so they're going to have to play such a cute shot to nail it under pressure. If you've got a little lead in the Open Championship, you're going to be nervous sitting on this tee. But you know what's quite exciting? Is I think we've got a few golfers coming up to come show us how it's done. So we'll be right back with you. I can't wait to see how they play it.
Welcome back to the 151st Open Championship, live at the range. Well, we've been watching David and Di there. That was very interesting. It was quite a lively start. Alongside me, Simon Holmes. Simon, that was quite a lively start from those two. It was excellent, wasn't it?
It is excellent.
It's some very good content.
Yeah, I just think that the driving range is such a fascinating place because, you know, for years before these types of shows, it was just an invisible place. You know, it was all about the golf course and just hitting shots. But what we've seen is, well, it's a chance, first of all, to hear from the players. It's a chance to see what they do working on their games. And, oh, Jordan Spieth. He's out. I bet you he might be going out for a little game with Rickie Fowler, who we've just been chatting to. So, a former champion golfer of the year, does he bring his A game around here? He felt like one of those guys, Boxy, who was like a wizard. And then the magic seems to have run out.
Yes, it did. You're quite right. But it's like all good wizards, it eventually comes back in the end, doesn't it? And that's what it did for Jordan.
Yeah, you hope
Good
so.
to watch.
So Cameron McCormack, his coach, from the very beginning. It's a very interesting action. One of those players looks sort of very left-handed through the ball. Sort of watch that left arm pull out, so we get a closer look at sort of his left side through the ball, almost like a left arm that swings across his body. Doesn't have a traditional swing at all. Quite an unusual grip for such an amazing golfer. Maybe get a chance to have a look at his hands on the club there. So, you know, look at that. It's a lot of, it's very busy, isn't it? It's a grip you'd see on a Sunday morning, not one on an Open
Don't go and tell him
Championship.
that.
We're mates. Here we go. So, let's check him out. So, Jordan Spieth just clipping a few. That might be just like a little 56-degree wedge that he's hitting there. Lots of chat. And that's a little bit more lofted than that. That could be his lob up. So, a lot of thumb moving, twitching around. Look at that left foot, totally rolled over, almost like a Scotty Scheffler left foot. Maybe get a chance to show you some of that as he keeps clipping through his routine. So this is just a warm-up routine that he's going through. He's getting ready to go and play, I think, with Rickie Fowler. And maybe some JT, Boxy?
Yeah, I'm just watching him swing now. I'm thinking back to his, you know, when he, the winner of the 146th Open at Royal Birkdale. What an incredible finish it was from the par 3, 14th inwards. Do you remember he nearly knocked it in for a 1 there? And then
yeah, he was, for me, that was like so mentally resilient. He had the problem with the ruling. He had John Paramore, lovely John Paramore, sadly missed. Helping him out. So let's have a look. Jordan Spieth. Cameron McCormack behind him. Aiming stick. A pair of launch monitors. Look at that left foot. See how that rolls through the lateral motion. Always think he has quite a kind of a big movement off the ball to start his swing. You know, the modern trend is to sort of stay very centered, kind of like swing in a really tight tube. Watch that left foot now really rotate through.
it does, doesn't it? It
Kind
does
of
really
like
rolls right over, doesn't it? Look at that.
Look at that. Incredible. So you've got to have a pretty good elasticity in your left ankle. Richard, any thoughts, Richard, on damaging your body during your swing?
Yes, I have done one of those, I'm afraid, at where he won actually, Birkdale. I tell you what, I wish my left leg rolled over like that. That is for sure.
There's a lot of elasticity there, isn't it? But if that's where you've always done it, your body gets used to it. You know, the problem probably is when you injure yourself, is when you start changing away from your natural. So let's get back and have a look at his swing. Look at some of those stats. So just really working on an easy rhythm. Left side works across the ball there. A glimpse down to see if what he feels matches up. Does the data match back up your feels? You know, is there an adjustment that you're missing? You can see these are very low driven shots here, have tons of spin on them. 55 apex, so he's thinking about wind shots.
So what will he do? He'll go from sort of this gap wedge he's hitting here to what will he go, mid irons after this?
Yeah, I think the big thing, I mean, you're really thinking now, you've had a look at the golf course, right? And now you're thinking about what shots you're going to need to play to get round the course. We both have been out on the golf course, right? And we have seen, let's suppose, two very weird Hoylakes. We saw the burnt out Hoylake when Tiger won, and that was, interestingly enough, like a totally opposite wind than we've got now. So, for example, we saw downwind, both Opens, Rory's and Tiger's. This is into the wind at the moment. I think the golf course is going to play much longer. I think driver is going to have to be a really crucial club, and we've sort of been saying, oh, you don't need driver around here. And looking at it yesterday, I think you're going to need driver. I think the test is a lot tougher than I've seen in the other two Opens.
One thing is for sure, it's a lot softer than I've seen it in the past. And I think you're right. You know, a lot of these bunkers may not be in play. A lot of players nowadays just get the driver out and give it a huge smash. Anyway, Jordan Spieth hit one more while we just pop off for a break.
So back on the driving range, we're going to be zooming in, just having a look at Rickie Fowler, going to be playing practice round with Jordan Spieth. Maybe just have a closer look at him. We was thinking about, well, his return to form, the magic that he had. He just seemed like he was the golden child. And then probably the Open the Masters, perhaps, his loss at the Masters, again, back to that difficult 12th hole, it sort of shell-shocked him. And he's never recovered from them, the big mistake that he made there. So the guys just getting ready. You see the flags now moving around a little bit. Wind is shifting yesterday, right to left, now into. So players just going through a lot of final adjustments as they get ready for Thursday morning. So here is our view from the worm cam. And now 17th hole is going to be absolutely one of the major holes, and George Harper has a little bit more details for us.
Well, good morning. We've got a great match play battle here. Lowry, he's one up over none other than Mr. McIlroy. Shane, there's a big battle going on here. Run us through the match thus far.
We've been playing well. I mean, it's a nice morning, so there's a few birdies here and there, and not too many bogeys, which has been nice, but it's been good. We got out early and we played 7 holes, and then we played 7 on the back 9, so 14 holes.
It's no Open Championship, but this is a big deal, these little haggles that you guys play, and you're one up with 2 to play, so...
Sometimes it means more to me.
Sometimes it means more to him. Oh, brilliant. All right, here they come. News hot off the press. Rory has not played this hole yet. So very interested to see his food for thought. Looking at Harry. Timed it perfectly. Pins 9 on, 8 from the right. A little bit of wind's just picked up. Silky.
Oh no.
Oh no. Oh no, he's... He's bottled his 1-up lead. Well, if you want to talk All Blacks in Ireland, Rory's hired me on the inside and it's working. I'm in your head. Rent free. All right, concentrate. Safe. Safety. Yes. Superb shot.
It was a very controlled full ball. Kicks behalf it.
Nice, mate. Thanks for your help. No worries. Go on, Shane. What are your thoughts on this lovely hole?
It's a nice little hole. Yeah. Sort of seems like keep it up the left side seems like the safest option, but yeah, this is probably the easiest we're going to get it. So
it sure is.
Yeah.
All right, let's go have a look at the green. Nice shot. Take him down. All right, well, as you can see, the drama of this hole's already unfolding. Shane Lowry barely missed to the right, and he is kicked miles off, so his 1-up lead is in a lot of trouble right now. We do know, however, he's a short game genius, so I'm going to keep sledging. I'm going to get in his head and see if we can have this match all square going down 18.
So fantastic to see the 17th hole. That's definitely a new part of the golf course, and it could play a pivotal role. The guys, I think they're looking at that thinking, if it's really windy, can I handle this? So there's no bailout. I think that's the difficulty.
There is zero bailout, absolutely zero. And if you stand on that, it's perched up high in the air, and all you can see is the sky and the flags.
Yeah.
You think that almost looks like there's not a green there.
No, it's amazing, isn't it? It's like I love that it's a return back to kind of little par threes, drivable par fours, holes with character. That's what we want. So a look at the driving range. Who have we got here? Jordan Spieth just working through there.
These players, you look at the flags there.
Is that a Scotty Scheffler we've got there?
Simon.
Yeah.
Players would like to play this into the breeze for sure.
Yeah, wind is always crucial. Yeah, the wind will be a feature, no doubt. Jordan Spieth just going through with Cameron McCormack, his coach, working on his feel for launch, spin, and controlling the number. Richard, here's the slab up the side.
Yeah,
so what we like here, just to take a closer look at the top tracer number. So we've got launch of the ball data for you up the right side. So just the carry number. Kind of, this is probably just a 56-degree wedge. So what you'll see here is probably that the ball speed right around 100. The launch is down. This is lower than a normal shot for Jordan Spieth. He'd probably hit this around 110 feet of apex. So kind of a soft hands finish at the bottom there, at the top of the backswing.
Simon, there's no what I call strong wind yet, but what, from your experience, what would these players hate to have to practice in the direction of the breeze?
A left to right wind, which is the summer wind, right? That is that is an east to west wind, an easterly wind. That is normally what you get. So the first hole plays downwind. We were talking about that when Rory won, the weather wasn't great, but it wasn't windy. But when the wind was there, it was that east wind. We are still at the moment kind of on a west wind. I think that's the winter wind. That's a much harder wind. So that makes the golf course play much longer. I think the driver strategy that we saw from Tiger will not work this week. We're not in those conditions. So,
in fact, the wind is going to change at the weekend.
Yeah.
It's going to go. I think it's going to go totally around the other way.
So it is going to be interesting. And so I think that the players come here and they're thinking, what do I need, right? And what they don't want to have is a surprise. So I think the golf course is going to play much longer. So I think you're going to have to hit driver. We were walking the course, Boxy. The rough, you're going to find your ball, but you won't be able to control the ball out of the rough.
No, not a chance. Right? No, it's not really thick rough. There are places where it's patchy and it's quite thick, but as you say, having looked at it yesterday, there's going to be plenty of flyers, plenty of grass between clubhead and ball.
And you know, and the safe part, the safe shot off the tees, a lot of times is down the right. But there's always, it seems to be, you know, if you've got a back right flag, there's always a front right bunker that kills you. So I just think this is a fantastic golf course. There's a lot more nuance to this year. This is going to play really, really well.
Yeah, the things to avoid, you know, I looked at the greenside bunkers. Some of them are quite shallow. They're not that bad. They're not really nasty ones. But it's the fairway bunkers. You get into any of those fairway bunkers, you're not getting it more than 30, 40 yards out.
No, that's a one-shot penalty.
Yeah,
isn't
it is.
No, no doubt. So let's take a closer look. Just have a look at the data here. This is very much just a cruising 56-degree wedge here. Have a look there. So he's got the double launch monitors. Yeah, these old Vokey wedges. Those are really beautiful clubs, so well made. Got the bounce. I think these are the traditional ones. So some of the players yesterday were kind of dropping down to a wedge with a little bit less bounce. So if you've come in and you've kind of got like a 12-degree bounce, that's going to be too much ricochet. Wow, it's a busy club head behind the ball, isn't it? It's amazing. Like, when does he go? When are you going to go? Go.
I don't know. I thought the footage stalled all of a sudden.
A lot of tap dancing around there, isn't it? So just getting used to it. So let's have a look at the routine from Jordan Spieth. So got a little bit of dust in his equipment there. So aiming stick. So there it is. Over the ball quite a long time.
Yeah, there is a lot of dancing at the club head, isn't there?
Almost like, you know, it feels like a swing. Like for us, we couldn't do that swing. You know, it's like that's his movement, his magic. He's almost just like he's just an amazingly skillful golfer. He had like just the ability to kind of hit the shot he needed when he needed to, and an incredible putter. So closer look at that club head, just getting comfortable, getting the feel, the footwork. Look at the toe, right up on the toe, right over on that left foot. So interesting use of the balance of the ground, just stretching out a little bit. You can see just gaining a bit of yards there, gaining a bit of speed as he manipulates it. But
Simon, who's the most gifted player you've seen that in the respect of hasn't had too many lessons, hasn't really had somebody study his swing all the time, most natural player?
I mean, this I think this is an era where you don't really have the sort of the talent. The talent doesn't have any kind of support or feedback. So in the old days, I mean, Seve Ballesteros for me was a guy who really his feel was he saw the shot that he wanted and then his body computed that and did it. But there wasn't any kind of there wasn't a fourth step. So he had a picture for the shot. Then he felt it and then he executed it. There wasn't and now I'm going to do it like this. His body just performed it. And that was sort of, and we don't see people like that anymore. There's not one guy on there who's got like a very homegrown no contact swing. Bubba Watson might be the last of the guys who really had no process in his head. Like, okay, now Bubba, do this. It was like, okay, hit the shot like that.
Yeah, no, very natural. Do you know at the Belfry, I asked Nick Fowler because he's the only one I've known who's got his swing and taken it apart and been really successful with it. I mean, really dismantled his swing. And I said to him, there's a question I've wanted to ask you for 40 years, Nick. And he sort of stared at me, thinking, oh my goodness, what's he going to do here? And I said to him, when I joined the tour in 82, 83, I said, you won 4, I think it was, on the spin. He said, no, it was 3. He said, but I won 5 in total. I said, so how tough a decision was it to totally and utterly dismantle your swing when you're winning 5, 6, 7 tournaments a year? I said, and totally rechange it. And he said, well, do you know what? He said, I was playing, he said, and I realised I didn't have it. And I said, what, you didn't have it to what? He said, I didn't have it to win majors. He said, I could win golf tournaments, but I couldn't win majors. He said, and then I went through America. I said, there must have been some lonely times. He said, oh, yes, it was tough for 2 years. He said, and I went to America, shot 467s, he said, and never really looked back after that. But, I mean, he's the only one I know that's really dismantled. But it was an interesting conversation, I thought, with him.
I think one of the mentally strongest people who's ever played golf, Nick Faldo. I mean, you know, I remember we were talking about his victory that he had in 1996 against Greg Norman, and I was saying to him, I'll tell you, you need to go and buy Phil Mickelson a champagne bottle, because Phil Mickelson 3-putted the 54th hole, which meant that Faldo got to play with Greg Norman in the last day. And I said to Faldo, I was like, that's all you needed. You get on the first tee, you look down at him, and you are going to boss him all day long. And Nick Faldo, for me, was one of the toughest guys to play against. He was absolutely, you were on his turf on the last round of these big majors. So, some classics. The Open has given us so much history. This is going to be an incredible week. Here we go. So we've got a little bottle tossing contest. That was terrible. That was terrible.
Never up, never in.
0 point. 0 point. Dear, oh dear. You've got to pick that. You've got to have another go at that. Okay, so Spieth working through his wedges, just clipping them out there. Thinking about busyness of hands over the ball, the looks. Takes a while for him to get the feel. The rain just...
Well, they did say it was going to come down about 11, didn't they? So there was a
yeah, but it's 10. It's 10. It's too early. Here we go. So, Spieth, that left arm working across his body. Just chatting to Cameron McCall about some feels that he's got. Okay, nice dry ball. The reason for that is the launch monitors need the dry balls for the spin. So let's have a look here. Just a little 130 shot here. So this is probably just around a 52 degree. Oh, is he into his? No, so that's probably going to be his pitching wedge.
It's quite a straight right leg on the way back, doesn't it?
It's a strange leg action, you know. Normally you have, I think in his swing at least, that he has too much sway, so he off-centers, so his first movement is lateral, and then he has a tough time sometimes coming back to that space, you can see. So instead of that right hip pitching up, he almost pitches back towards us. So it sways a little, and then there's an extra move to get him back, and then you can see that left ankle really just pitches over as a sort of a Scotty Scheffler minor.
Well, I was always taught to keep a flex right leg when I was playing.
I think that the right hip definitely does go up in the backswing. So let's have a closer look here. So kind of up in the backswing, and then up in the left hip goes up in the backswing. So the right hip kind of goes up, then the hips recenter, then the left hip goes back up. So that's kind of a crucial part, and you want to just sort of match up your upper body to your lower body, and that's one sequence. And then there's another sequence which is the arms and the chest. So Cameron McCormack maybe just trying to keep that right arm a little bit more in front of his body in the backswing, not to get those arms too deep and late. That's a big complaint. Tiger, I got stuck, his deep and late arms. Rory, I got stuck, deep and late arms. So maybe the right arm just to stay a little bit more in front. Tim Barter doing a bit of research. Okay, so
let's forget it's Jordan Spieth. If somebody came to you like that with that leg action, what would, as a teacher, what would you do? Would you straight firm up that right leg or not?
It's interesting. I mean, the first thing when you're coaching someone is, do I think your swing's going to damage your body? At least that's what I look at. I coach a lot of amateur golfers, so here we go. Load and release. So it's when you're changing stuff, you know, that's very natural for him. So if you go and change that, do you injure them? Do you put a different stress that he's not used to? So you look at Tiger Woods, the fittest golfer ever, the most injured golfer ever, right? You look at Colin Montgomery. Colin Montgomery's never had a golf injury in his whole career. Never. He's 60 years old. He's never hit the ball further. He's never, ever been injured. So, you know, is it the changes? Like if you walk in a certain way and then I teach you to walk in a different way, does that injure you? It's interesting, isn't it?
Yeah, I think the answer is probably yes.
It could be. It seems like it, right? It's like it's the unnatural changes. So, yeah, fascinating. We see the guys working out hard. And so, here we go. Let's have a look at this. Then we might have a chance to catch up to see what Shane Lowry could do with that chip shot on 17. Maybe a chance of that. Let's see if George is in position. So it's load and release. The tempo is good there from Spieth, isn't it? I think his golfing brain is the best part of his game. Probably his swing's not the best part of his game. His putting was as well, but his ability to deliver under pressure, amazing. So we will get a chance to see what happened to Shane Lowry's shot. George has got all the data for us. George, what's happening?
Here we go. Rory McIlroy for birdie on 17. Needs to break. Held its line. Shane Lowry now needs to hold this to remain one up entering 18. It's not often you're at an Open Championship and you find yourself in a match play format, so this is quite a unique start to the day. We've just had both the men's and women's amateur championships recently, which were fantastic to watch. We've got Christo Lamprecht here today. We'll go chat to him later on, the amateur champion, but for now, Shane Lowry to halve the hole. Oh, stop it. That is seriously clutch. Oh, what an up and down. I'll leave you alone for the last hole. That's fair. That is simply outstanding. This hole's going to be so much fun. You can see the views as well here. Look at that. Absolutely stunning. If you miss this green, as you can see, it is crazy. I'm not sure you can see the drop off here into this bunker as Shane starts working out where the ball's going to go if they do miss. And what they've done is they've flattened out that bunker as well so it doesn't roll too far back. Wow. And just as we stand up here, that wind is finally starting to pick up. We know the weather's not going to be good this afternoon, so these guys have absolutely nailed it. They've got out early. And now they've got one hole to play, and I believe that not far after they finish this hole, the rain's going to come on down. So some good research going on here on the 17th. Little Eye, highly anticipated par 3, and you can bet your bottom dollar that it's going to create some nice drama for us later in the week. Rory does not like this putt. I think that's 4 from 4. Tricky little putt.
Origins premium experiences at the Open. The ultimate way to experience golf's original championship. Enjoy unparalleled on-course views as the world's best golfers take on the challenge of the links. With over 10 hours of world-class action, mouth-watering food and complimentary drinks, guests can soak up the nail-biting atmosphere like never before. Watch history in the making. Whether you're looking for the ultimate client experience or a memorable day with a group of friends, Origins offers a variety of fully inclusive premium experiences that cater to every taste and budget. Don't miss your chance to guarantee your place and the experience of a lifetime.
Welcome back to Live at the Range. Day 2. It all really starts, Simon, today, doesn't it, in my view? Yesterday was, I know it was practice, but it was like, didn't really count yesterday, but today is the build-up.
It is, and what I think is amazing is the intensity of the match between McIlroy and Shane Lowry. I mean, Shane Lowry, it was grinding out that putt. I mean, that's just fantastic. So you just get a sense of the... Yes, there's a bit of fun. There's a fun thread, but it's a very much about the business and the competition. So, just fantastic to see us. Well done, George, for bringing us that. Ooh, Masters champion.
Yes, 2021.
Hideki Matsuyama, multiple champion. Incredible, really. Right next to him.
It's a very nice top. Is that your sort of top or not?
Do you know what? I'm probably a bit more drab than that, Richard, but they're sort of like a spider's web, or like a matrix laser show. It's kind of pretty cool. Anyway, so here we go. Matsuyama. When we were watching him,
there's our man, John Morgan. Look there in the grey sweater.
Yeah.
There he is, behind Matsuyama.
Morgie.
Back to front. Good lad, John Morgan.
High hands, high launch. Matsuyama. Next to him, Dustin Johnson. There he is, John Morgan. Great chap he is. Very good player. Tim Barter, Claude Harmon.
Do you remember where he lost in the playoff in the John Deere Classic, man, John? Do you remember that?
Yeah. Dustin Johnson. He could be an Open champion. Nearly had a good run when Darren Clark won. Just hit a bad shot, so... DJ, another one of those absolutely fantastic athletes who's playing golf. Matsuyama, powerful lower body. Let's maybe have a closer look at these two guys. So just clipping balls away. So DJ probably just hitting one of his wedges, maybe a 52, maybe a 56, 52, let's give him 52.
It's into the breeze, remember.
Yeah, so kind of just matching up there. Matsuyama's always going to have a really high apex. DJ matches him there. Hang time kind of same. DJ definitely a fader. Matsuyama just kind of straight and really, really high. Look at those apexes. Straight up and down. DJ just working out to a left pin, just trying to hold those lines. Brilliant technology, isn't it? And you can see the players looking up at the big screens to see what they did. Ball data is just a huge part of this, so if you see him glancing over their shoulder, look at that, Dustin Johnson. Great swing. There you go. Launching it up there, 110 apex. A little bit higher than normal. Matsuyama, another towering shot. Beautiful frozen rope from Matsuyama there. Here we go. So let's move in behind him. So very, very strong lower body. And there's been a lot of changes kind of really in the Matsuyama swing. So you used to have sort of like a full pause, like up and pause and go. And the reason for the pause, it's really just a sequence drill, and it sort of became Hideki's golf swing. So what you don't want to have is sort of where your upper body catches up too quickly to your lower body as you come down. So the idea is really load your chest and your ribs and your hands, hold that position and allow your lower body to get that first move going. So watch this, up and hold and legs. All right, so the reason for the pause is just a sequence drill between upper body, or let's say hands and hips, right? The one thing you don't want to have is your hands catch up to your hips. You do not want that to be a dead heat, and you definitely don't want your hands to beat your hips.
Do you find it easier, Simon, teaching somebody with a swing like Hideki here, or a very, very fast swing?
I mean, they're all different. I think when you're coaching a tour player, the first thing you've got to do is learn their swing, right? And then learn their swing from what they do on the course in competition. So like these are beautiful swings, right? So we don't know what number he's trying to hit. You know, probably might know if this is the last 9 holes, he might not have this swing. So, you know, there's up and down and then hips. So I would say, when you're coaching someone, you've got to learn their swing, right? And then once you've learned their swing and learned their feels, you need to go on the course and go, okay, if you're in this situation, what's your process going to be? How many steps are you going to have? So it's like, you know, if you can think about, so what's the mistake? How do you get away from the mistake? And you might work very slowly. You might work a year to move one thing a little bit, because if you move it very quickly, it might technically be better, but they can't hit the ball because you've changed it so much they've lost control where the face is.
How many swing thoughts do you think a tour pro can hold in their mind?
I mean, it's interesting. So Nick Faldo always needed 2 swing thoughts, and you needed to kind of match them up. So in working with him, be like, he would have a swing thought of like thumbs up in the backswing, thumbs up in the through swing. So they always had to match up. So it would be like, and you'd make the sound, so you'd have to get the cadence of the sound correct. So you could have like, load that left shoulder under your chin, and then let the left shoulder lead away from your chin, so that Nick Fowler didn't slide onto the ball and get stuck in behind him. So he was really, he was such a feel player, Nick Faldo. It sounded technical, it was all about the feel. So it's what feels you're going to do. So if we look at Hideki here, this is like a pace, isn't it? So it kind of goes, it's kind of balanced. You see hands nearly come off the ball, there's no tension there, and now watch it. So it loads in the ribs and the hips and holds, and then hips drive him through. So it goes hips, chest, arms, hands at impact. So Matsuyama has had a few injuries. I'm not sure we're seeing the best of Hideki at the moment. He's definitely got something in the hips or something in the spine. That's kind of an elbows together, high hands feel there. So really feel it stretch to the top. Stretch, hold, and there. hits it as high. I've never seen anybody hit the ball as high as I've seen as Hideki's like normal pattern, especially in America at the Masters and watching him on a driving range. Just absolutely launched it. And it was a fantastic victory, wasn't it? That lovely gesture of his caddy, the Shuntu respect.
Yes, that was brilliant.
Just amazing. I love that. It's an amazing country, Japan. They love their golf. So,
well, it's his 9th Open.
Yeah.
He certainly knows about links. He couldn't, St George's, he couldn't play there. He unfortunately caught COVID there and couldn't play in that one.
Yeah, yeah, those are dark times, weren't they, for everyone? Hopefully we're through that. So, Matsuyama. The 170 carry, this might be an 8-iron for him. Very strong player, so you can see normal apex for him might be 120. Let's just see if he's moving it around a little bit. Load and hold. Very high finish, isn't it? Hands kind of hang underneath his shoulders. Hands kind of go up and down his body.
And you say he hits it higher than anyone you've ever seen play.
I mean, the people who I would go like, wow, that's exceptionally high. Bryson DeChambeau, Rory McIlroy, Hideki Matsuyama, and Ross Fisher.
Ross Fisher, I was going to say, he's got to be in there.
Straight, like literally, unless you get used to watching it, I think half the reason they look down the launch monitor is because at 328 yards away from you in the air at 150 feet, no one can see it. You can't see it. In our day, you feel like hit the shot and you'd be looking to see if you could find it. Nowadays, they look down because the ball's gone out of sight. It's gone so fast anyway. So, Matsuyama's numbers would probably be like around a 178 iron, I would think. That's kind of like the new standard. Fascinating, isn't it? Look at the different pace. Load, hold, fire.
Well, they're all different, aren't they? It goes to show there's no certain way to swing a golf club, is there? It's all very different.
Yeah, it's
as long as it's square at the bottom of the impact, that's the main thing.
Yeah, and is it ever square? It's like, and I mean, are we as good as we think we are? I think it's very much a case of a game of misses and making sure that your good shots and bad shots aren't that different to each other. So, footwork from Matsuyama, very strong legs, incredible. Tons of work in the gym. Just thinking about his aim, thinking about the ball position. Maybe he's moved the ball back a little bit for the windy conditions that they're thinking about, and he's just getting used to that because that changes your optics. You can see him feet back in there. So clubhead's definitely more calm, isn't it? We saw Jordan Spieth, it was very sort of moving around, so calm and calm. It's all about balance there. It's not an hyped up version. So Matsuyama just getting a bit of data. Interesting to see him.
What a good tip for amateurs watching this now. Would you say, if you get you know, a lot of amateurs go to the range and just get the driver out and belt it, would you say, because I've said to them in the past, I said, get a wedge or a 9-iron out and go and hit a bucket of balls with your feet together for balance.
Yeah, I think that, you know, balance, and I mean, let's look at Hideki. Like, I mean, you know, if you're an amateur golfer, wouldn't you love to finish your backswing off like that? So lower body, very strong, footwork, centered, grounded, much different than the Jordan Spieth move. Is that maybe just looking across to see our launch monitor, our launch data, hit that a little bit higher shot there. So
it doesn't look very nice out there now.
Yeah, no, I think we're going to catch a little weather action. It is the Open. We've got Dustin Johnson and Team Johnson, Claude Harmon there. So yeah, this is really, I mean, we've got Worm Cam, which is just a great view. You know, get to see, you never get to see a shot from this view because it'd be seriously dangerous, wouldn't it? But you can still see, look how open they are as they get through the ball. Hips almost facing us at impact. Bang.
One of the great things I thought yesterday was when we were having a chat to, who was it we were chatting to yesterday with the earpods in?
Oh, from Japan.
Yeah.
The amazing amateur. Yeah, he was cool, wasn't he? I thought that was great.
You're fumbling through your
I'm
iPad there.
just reminding myself, he was
Began with a C.
No.
Anyway, every year.
No, he was
single
from.
year.
He was from Hong Kong, wasn't he? Oh dear.
So not looking good. All the brollies up, unfortunately. Matsuyama.
So Dustin Johnson. Good control of his game. Let's maybe have a look at Dustin Johnson's game. So what we see about Dustin Johnson's game is sort of very much a one plane. Now, lads, well done, lads. Well done, sharing a brolly. It's going to be one of those weeks. So just a little bit of umbrellas heading themselves up there. Wind is just moving around. Yesterday this driving range was very much right to left. Now it's kind of into. Got a lot of guys just getting warmed up, ready to go onto the golf course. So yeah, look at that. It's a great day to come watch the golf on the practice range. You see the most shots, you know, that's one of the things you see. You get to see your best players learn what they do. It's the really fun part about golf, isn't it? You know, could you pick up a little tip to improve your game? Hardy souls. Amazing. So one of the games that was out there early, Rory McIlroy and Shane Lowry. Let's see if George has got a bit of action update on that match.
There it is, the handshake. It is done and dusted. Shane Lowry has taken the chocolates. That is a big win for Shane, a big scalp early in the week. No doubt about it. Great competitive spirit between these two. Good to see them challenged on this 18th hole. Rory played what looked to be a 2-iron and pulled it left and into the rough. And then couldn't quite hack it out of there. Walked away with par, but it wasn't good enough being one down from Shane Lowry. This 18th hole, they've added length to it, taking the tee back. That's what the change to 17 has helped with, to take the tee back. And as you can see, Big Shane has a large smile on the face. It's a big win. No doubt about it. What a sight it is to be down here on the 18th. Par 5s are always an exciting finish as well. Very, very exciting. Every day, the atmosphere just builds ever so slightly. We mentioned it yesterday, but Rory's had some great memories on this green. Around 3 eagle. Giving him that little buffer entering the final round in 2014. Can you believe that was his last major? Ooh. He came oh so close last year. Is this the week? Packing up, assignment over, perfect morning. A couple of drops of rain just starting, which means they've timed this to absolute perfection. I like the yellow bags. The tailor-made yellow bags are looking good, looking like the yellow scoreboard in the background. Hard luck, Rory. Tough loss. Here's Big Shane. Massive scalp. as they walk off. Brian and the crew. Here we go. I just want to say congratulations to the big man. What was the bet on that one?
What was the bet?
Yeah. Well done.
For his paycheck last week.
Oh, the paycheck last week. Shane, final thoughts? Lovely round.
Yeah.
Rip through it.
I'm happy that we're finished. We played 14 holes. It's 10 o'clock. Back in for breakfast, and we didn't get wet.
Should I be concerned about your dad? It's an early finish for him. He'll be pretty excited about that.
I hope my mum's not watching, but I'm very concerned about them today. I think it could be. They might have to take a break this afternoon at some stage.
All right. Well, Shane, it's great to have you back at the Open as a former champion. Good luck.
Good to see you.
Energy's good. Energy is good out here, guys. So we'll take it back to the range, but whew, this is a fun week and it's only getting better.
Getting a bit of rain, unfortunately, now. By the way, that Tai Chi Ko was the guy we spoke to yesterday, which I thought was a great, with the pods coming in, was a great invention.
Yeah, I just think the driving range, you know, we've used technology to make the viewers see the game better. Forged by nature, it is a bit about the sustainability. You know, golf has got to match up and not, it's got to coexist with nature, not damage nature. That's a big part of these new facilities and all of the ecology and sustainability that we all need to be focused on. So that's an important part, important message from the Open. Dustin Johnson. It's just a swing that stands out. If you saw that, if you took away, if you saw the shadow, you go, that's Dustin Johnson's swing. So Claude Harmon cleaning the balls there. So DJ threw it off a tee. There. High hands, very athletic. Almost like a scoop release, isn't it? So high hands and turn left. It's so amazing. So Dustin Johnson just going through, probably thinking that he'll be going out, try to do some holes. So club face works into a very de-lofted position through the ball, and then he adds loft to it. It's almost like going from a bowed wrist to a cupped wrist as he's hitting it. So his right wrist is kind of working underneath the ball, really trying to keep that club face from turning over. That's the only thing. If DJ sees the ball turn left on in, Claude Harmon's day is ruined. So DJ, there's his pattern of shots. That's his whole of his warm-up. And hopefully nothing pitching from the apex, everything falling right. That's DJ's just working on everything falling right. And this could be a really good golf course for Dustin Johnson. Very powerful player, but with a pretty good short game. He's massively improved his wedges. Just talking about the pitch of the ball there. So Dustin Johnson, that hold-off finish. Get a little shelter, try to keep everything dry. That's going to be one of the big jobs. So let's have a look here. Nice movement before the ball keeps himself going, and then it's almost like nothing stops. We saw sort of in Hideki, everything much more sort of set and stopped, but always in perpetual motion. Just got to keep everything dry for a little bit. So we're going to have a little changeover in the commentary. Peter Finch now. Peter, welcome, mate. You've been down the driving range. It's been pretty busy down there.
Yeah, I think a lot of people are going to be trying to cram as much in as possible before the rain really does sweep him. This is the kind of last night before the exam, I would say.
Yeah. DJ going, I think, probably for some holes, just getting used to it. You've got to go round, see how you're going to plan it. How does it play today? How's it going to play on Thursday? That's the big question. There's a real tension building, I think.
Yeah, it changes. Today really changes everything because the course, all of a sudden, is going to be playing so much softer. Like, we came here on Monday and it was a case of how many irons are they going to be taking off the tees, and now it's kind of switched a little bit. It's how many drivers they're going to be taking off the tee, because a lot of the bunkers that they might have been running into are 300 yards plus, they might not quite be in play now. So I think today will change a lot of the tactics that these players are going to be adopting out in the course.
Yeah, it is definitely going to be interesting. So, driver, you know, we're thinking of lots of driving irons. It's now going to be drivers. And can I keep my ball down and can I keep it straight? It's a very hard course optically to have a look at as well. You've got to get your lines. I think that's crucial.
Yeah, I think the ability to work the ball both ways is obviously important for all these players, but especially around here because there are multiple dog legs in each direction. I think drawers of the ball tend to do really well around here. Obviously Rory, with his win back in 2014, is a classic example, but there's a lot of right to left dog legs where you need to curve it around. But if you are a fader, like DJ obviously adopts that quite a lot now. He has to aim more over the trouble, more over the thick rough, and try and drift it back. And it takes a brave man as the rough starts to get thicker and more lusher.
It's a little bit more pop in that swing there. Just going through his movements. He's got tons of power, Dustin Johnson. Yeah, I think the ball flight, you know, that's one of the things, Peter, sort of, if you come from America where you don't factor in weather, right? Your yardage book tells you all you've got to do. And then you come to a links and you go, wow, here's my standard shot, this is what my instinct is, and now, but I've got to do this. That's a different thing for an American golfer.
Well, the best thing about links, what you really want to see with a links course, is you want to see him looking at the yardage book as a guide, but you want to see it go out the window. You want to see them have to land it 30 yards short of a green and let it roll up. And these conditions don't help that, because these conditions allow these players to actually fly it a little bit further and stop it on command. And on links greens when they're wet are incredible to get spin on. So it's, I don't know, it's going to just, today has really just thrown everything up into the air. I was really excited to see a lot of stingers, a lot of running, and now I think we're going to get potentially a bit more of a bomb fest. But the weather might improve over the next few days. Links golf, man, it's just the weather is just such a key player within this game.
Yeah, it is. It's fascinating. So we'll leave the driving range just for a little bit, and our man George, who's got more data from the golf course.
Well, I've made my way to the third tee, and I've found almost every South African on golf course here today. Brandon Grace, Louis Oosthuizen, and our amateur champion, Christo Lamprecht. Very exciting group. Playing a lot of beautiful two-iron stingers. Now I've got a former Open champion in Louis Oosthuizen beside me. Louis,
how are you?
Looking at our amateur champion with a driver. How fun's this?
I mean, I know what he's capable of. I know where he's going to hit it. I just don't see the shot. But this is fun to watch.
Get over the corner. Get over the corner.
That's, I would do the same.
Christo, could I borrow you a minute, young man?
Yeah, gladly.
What a week you're having, your first Open Championship. How cool is it to be here?
Yeah, it's pretty surreal, I'm not going to lie. It's pretty fun being out here in the crowd and then playing alongside an Open champion, and yeah, it's pretty cool.
Louis helped you a lot in your upcoming as a young golfer. It must be great to be on the big stage and learning from him as well.
Yeah, he's been an extremely good mentor to me over the years, and it's really nice playing alongside of him and playing in front of the crowds.
How's life changed for you in the last month after becoming the amateur champion just around the corner at Hillside?
Yeah, I think it's only changed the last 2 days. I kind of been home and kind of just taking a stroll at home and enjoying some downtime. So yeah, it's kind of changed dramatically over the past 2 days, but it's pretty cool.
What is it like to see all the grandstands, all the history we know here at the Open, and to see it right up close? It must be pretty surreal.
Yeah, it's obviously it's some good links weather we're having today, a little bit of rain, but no, it really is a pleasure, and I think it's nice to see kind of some hard work paying off.
Seeing you at the amateur, you talked about your love of links golf and being from South Africa. That's a massive help, isn't it?
Yeah, no, it is. I guess I'm playing alongside the Liv team, which is called the Stingers. So I guess that says it all about links golf and what we used to in South Africa. So yeah, no, I'm just ready can't wait for the week to get going.
Do you reckon your driver's gone over this out of bounds on the corner?
I'm not sure. It'll be a good one to see. I pushed it a little bit, so we'll see. We'll see.
All right, we're looking forward to seeing some more 400-yard bombs from you this week.
We'll try our best. We'll try our best.
All
Thanks,
right.
George.
Enjoy the atmosphere and enjoy the crowds. There we go. Christo Lamprecht, our 2023 amateur champion. He gets to play in a handful of majors and, of course, the Open Championship. What an experience for a young golfer. He is certainly one to watch.
As the rain continues to wash down, I am here with Wayne Riley in the commentary booth, and the players are out here grinding away. Are these players, Wayne, are they happy to be here, or are they here as a last resort?
No, well, it's not raining that heavily at the moment, so they're out there doing their stuff. One thing, well, two things will be happy about this rain. The golf course will be absolutely loving it, and the greenkeeper will be overjoyed with this rain. I mean, a bit of rain, and then all of a sudden you get a little bit of sunshine, and that rough is going to be thick, it's going to be nasty, and there's an Open champion right there. What's he got on his hat, like a big ball or something?
I am not that familiar with my farmyard animals, but I know he's working on his right elbow position with Pete Cowan. Grinding away. Oh, crikey. Pull his back out. Yeah, just moving into position, going into impact, trying to push that right hand forward. I'm guessing might be getting a little bit stuck on the inside, so just trying to get that elbow and that hand outside to get away from that left miss. I think that might be a sheep, actually, Ray, no?
Bah!
just in case anyone was confused about what the common woolly sheep might sound like, though.
He's a golfing tragic, isn't he, Darren Clark? You get into your 50s and you think, oh, well, it's gone away now, you know, my addiction to the game is finished, but no, he's just still at it.
I mean, the Open Championship is, I don't know, it's one of those events that can bring in players where you maybe would not expect them to be challenging, because the course, it requires maybe a lot more artistry than some of the other events, some of the other majors even. And Darren Clark, obviously, being a winner of the Open Championship before, growing up on these types of courses. You know, I'm not saying he's going to win, but, you know, there's no reason why he can't have a decent placing.
No, he's bang on. It's not a golf course here, especially here at Hoylake. It's a golf course that doesn't necessarily suit one type of player. So why not? Why not Pete Cowan? So many players that he's coached successfully. Another Open champion, Henrik Stenson, when he won this at Troon a few years back.
Yeah, we were having a chat to him yesterday, and he was going through his stable of players, and you forget, because Pete Cowan's not really someone who shouts about his successes so much. Like, he's worked with so many players, it's unbelievable. He was chatting about Brooks this week, who he works with on his short game as well. Not actually seen Brooks hit yet. Gotta get that right elbow right, Darren. He looks a bit foot under, doesn't he? I think Pete's telling him off. Easy. We're going to see a fine array of waterproofs out there today, I think. What are they going to be talking through here, do we think, Wayne?
Well, watch the abbreviation of the follow-through. He's practicing the low punch shots, which he's so familiar with growing up in the Portrush area up there in just outside of Belfast. So, yeah, he's just... And it's the right thing to do. You need to practice. There's no point getting in there and having full swings all the time when you aren't going to play such shots out on the golf course. So he's rehearsing what is required. You're going to have some wind about. It's going to be a great Open Championship. I was up here doing a drone shoot about, I don't know, 2 weeks ago or something like that with Iona Stephen. And the rough was sparse, and now it is not. This is going to be an incredible Open. And the weather, we're going to get all sorts. We're going to get sunshine, we're going to get wind, we're going to get rain. And that's, you know, that produces the champion golfer of the year. That's just what you want, all sorts of conditions.
Yeah, it's incredibly changeable. I was the same. I was up here probably about a month and a half ago, and you could tell what the kind of maintenance crews were trying to do, like pull the fairways in, make it tight, make it a challenge. But the rough was almost non-existent, and it was almost getting a little bit burnt out. I was thinking, oh, is this going to be another Tiger Open? Is it going to be white? But no, it has greened up massively, like over the last day, and it's just become a completely different challenge. Like that wispy rough that was inviting, you know, only a few weeks ago, all of a sudden has become a no-go area. He's definitely soaring off that follow-through, isn't he?
Yeah. Yeah, he's rehearsing what he needs to do and how to get it around here.
The creativity in the short game, these short shots as well, so important around links courses. Something that links golf is amazing at is having so many runoff areas around the green that you've got to be creative with your short game. And if the weather does turn a little bit violent, it can be a bit interesting with these pitch shots. Going to have to be playing quite a few of them, I think. Obviously one of the most popular Open champions of recent years as well, Darren. A little bit of a cut around as well. Kind of hard to tell if he's working on his pitching or something which he's going to try and implement in his full swing as well. It's always tricky this point in the major. Obviously you've played in big events, Wayne. Are we still searching for something in the swing at this point, or are we just trying to get as comfortable as possible?
Well, you're trying to get as comfortable as possible, but I've been to, I don't know how many Opens I've played in, but over 10, but a lot of the time I came here searching for a game, and I wasn't playing great, and it's not a nice thing when you come to a major championship and you're searching for something. Give me something, please. And look, the one great thing, Peter, about this afternoon, this sort of weather, is there's no wind. You can see the flags out there and the trees. There's not a lot of wind, so it's a good time to actually work on your swing and don't get in there over the top. Like, a lot of the practice days for me, the wind was always blowing out of the left on the range. So I don't know how many times it happened to me, and that produced a little over-the-top move, which isn't great. So it's a good time to practice. Like, a little bit of rain won't hurt anyone. It's just when the rain and the wind combine together, and that's when it becomes ugly. So today, this is fine.
Yeah, it's always nice getting on a range when it's a right to left wind, isn't it? You just walk off there. You can feel like you get that nice powerful draw as well. It just fills you with that confidence.
Yeah.
Yeah,
the left to right wind.
Yeah, no fun.
It's a horror show.
Yeah, I think at an Open Championship, if you ever want to see the players who are really, really searching for their game, tune in to Live at the Range tomorrow. Stay with us till the end, because whoever's out there still at 6, 7 o'clock at night tomorrow night, those are the ones that maybe you shouldn't put your money on. But
looking for something.
Yeah, searching desperately. but you never know, they might find it.
Who do you fancy this week, Pete?
I can't quite believe I'm saying it. Last week I would have said Rory, but now he's won. Like, the odds are not in his favour. Like, it's so hard to go kind of week to week by winning, and also there's never been a repeat winner at Hoy Lake. So.
He's done it before, you know. He's won the week before at Firestone and went on to win the PGA Championship.
And he can. It's just so consistent as well. And the thing is, he's like never out of a top 5. It's unbelievably consistent. Like, obviously every golfer has a bad day, every golfer has a bad round, but the difference is if he has a good putting day, and that's it. Like, that's literally it. Like last year at St Andrews, watching him on the range before he went out, I would have gambled everything. I would have remortgaged the house, sold the dog, sacrificed the kidney. I would have put everything on him winning that event, and then he just didn't hold a putt. And then obviously Cam Smith came through. I think Cam Smith,
he's my pick.
Yeah,
back to back.
Yeah, he's very well fancied, and I can see exactly why as well. He seems to be coming into form a little bit more. Obviously, the comparison between Liv and normal tour events, you know, you can say maybe it's not the same, but he's obviously playing great golf, and around these greens as well, because they're not the most slopey, they're not the most tricky in many respects. So if he can get that blade working, he's going to be right up there.
What's your number? I'm going 9.
Yeah, I don't. Oh, hello. Brooks is doing the beat going. I'm going to say a bit higher. I'm going to say around 14, because the weather looks like it's improving. There may be a little bit of rain, but soft conditions moving into those first 2 days, light winds. You can see a few of them getting after it.
5-time major champion, Brooks Koepka.
Yeah, no claret jug yet.
No. I do all the majors, and this is the biggest. I think, you know, people can argue, but you know, you go to a Masters, you go to a US Open, you go to a PGA Championship. Sure, they're all big, they're wonderful championships, but when you come to this thing is a monster. It is just the biggest championship, and it's so incredible, the tented villages, and simply the claret jug itself. You look at it and you're just in awe. I've never touched it. I've been with it so many times in its company. I've been actually in a lady once. I was in China, and this lady had the claret jug from the RNA.
Yeah.
And she said, would you like to come and see it? So she took me up to her hotel room, and we sat there, and she said, would you like a picture with it? And I said, no, I'm not worthy. And I just didn't even touch it, because I don't believe you should touch it. I mean, unless you win it. And it's to be in its presence, I could just sit there and look at it all day. It's incredible. And Cameron Smith, the liquid variations that he actually has put in it this last year, I think you'll find, you know, just by the smell, you'd sort of walk around in a daze.
Yeah, it was mostly fizzy, I think. I'd love to say I had the same restraint as you and didn't touch it last year, but I felt my hand subconsciously going towards it, having a little bit of a stroke. It's not every day you get to touch history, is it? Wow, the range is still absolutely rammed. I was actually quite surprised. I thought a lot of players would be running for cover, but like you said, it is relatively still out there, so.
Good time. Great time to get some work in. Really good.
Here he is.
He's going to be tough this week as well.
He's definitely got that major mojo back, hasn't he?
Oh, he's just, yeah, he's the Mike Tyson of golf. He's just he bullies golf championships and the big ones. He's so confident within himself, confidence in his own game. He's incredible. The way he won at Oak Hill at the PGA, it was sensational.
I thought it was very interesting what he was saying after the Masters as well, when he was coming out and describing about how he was choking, and then he managed to come back. Yeah, he managed to get past that Masters disappointment where he said he himself choked, which is very rare for a tour pro to come out and admit that kind of thing, and then to have the strength of mind to come back and to win, especially, you know, a major, is incredible. And hopefully we'll get to see a little bit more of him close up. I believe Dai is down there on the driving range, hopefully under a little bit of cover.
I am. Thank you, Pete. Yeah, we are. We've got a couple of large umbrellas, which is great. And I just said hi to Brooks Koepka, who was dressed all in white, has put his waterproofs on. David, he was very cheery this morning, very smiley. Said he might speak to us later, but just doing a bit of grind now before going out and playing a few holes.
Well, he's the man to beat, isn't he, in the majors? He's the major man. Yeah, brilliantly. Great win there at the, where was it? PGA, wasn't it? US PGA.
PGA Championship.
Yeah, and he's back on form. The great showing at the Masters, which didn't quite turn out for him, but...
Incredible storyline, though, isn't it? The way he's bounced back.
Absolutely fascinating. Yeah, brilliant. And, yeah, it seems like he, more than any... doesn't really care about any other tournaments, you know, but he just wants to win majors. That's definitely his raison d'etre, isn't it? Is that the right word, raison d'etre?
Yes,
gone with things
correct.
I should have backed myself there. He turns up. He's a bit like Nick Faldo in the old days. Or, you know, that's the way I see him. I just want to win majors.
Yeah.
And it's working for him.
Spoke to Pete Cowan yesterday, and Pete obviously coaches him, and he's over there right now, and he said... There's, you know, I have sat down with him and explained and talked to him about his attitude going into events, and there was a couple of events he didn't do so well in, and he said you're not going to win with an attitude like that, and not many people would have the guts to tell their player to say it straight, basically, which is what Pete did, and he's bounced back and won a major this season. But the Netflix documentary I found really fascinating. Did you watch it?
I did. It was good, wasn't it?
Really good.
Yeah,
really good watching. To see the mindset of him. I mean, he couldn't concentrate on anything. All his thoughts were on golf.
Yes. That's what it takes.
It certainly is. Yeah. What are your thoughts on him? I mean, he applied his trade on the Challenge Tour. I remember seeing him at many events around Europe, and that's what he wanted to do. He wanted to travel.
Yeah, I
played with him as well.
I did. I played with him at Celtic Manor when he'd just come off the Challenge Tour, and he'd won his 3 times, and he jumped up to the main tour, and I was playing with him. And one of my mates from Swindon, Lee Hayward, came along, was watching, and he said, "Who's the American dude?" I said, "I don't know. I think he's off the Challenge Tour. Is he any good?" I said, "He looks good to me." He was hitting it 50 yards past me. He was standout. Brilliant, you know, like when you're on tour for a long time, everyone's good, some are slightly better than others, and every now and then someone comes along, your Rorys, your Sergios, and Brooks was quite obviously different, and he's gone on over the next decade to prove it. He's a class act, powerful player, and as strong mentally as anyone.
How much do you think it stood him in good stead playing Challenge Tour?
Well, that was a stepping stone. You know, you've got to start somewhere, college golf, and straight onto the PGA Tour if you're lucky, from an American point of view.
But to gain that experience from going to all those different countries, playing in different conditions.
Definitely, and Brooks chose a different route. You know, he came over, and he was a young man travelling around Europe playing golf for a living.
Yeah.
Don't care about how much money he was or wasn't winning. It was a means to an end, and have a good time doing it. And that's exactly what Brooks did. And it was a great pathway onto our tour. And then he performed really, really well for a few years, was a standout player, and on you go again to major championships. So it was a great route. He had a good time.
Yeah. What do you mean?
He's still having it. Wow.
What do you mean?
Maybe not now.
Got any stories? Live on air. How do you think he'll handle these conditions?
Oh, well, I mean, these guys, listen, none of these players play in this weather anymore. It's not like you're British and you're used to it. It doesn't work that way anymore. They're all playing in America or even on the DP World Tour. You're in the sun most of the time. It's not nice playing in the rain. It's not easy. It's the same for everyone. You know, you have to be prepared, but they're all prepared with many towels in the bag. But you just have to get on with it, don't you? That's what the Open's going to throw up this week. And someone at the end of the week will come out on top, and they will have coped with whatever Mother Nature has thrown at them. So
forged by nature.
I don't think anyone will come out at the end of the week saying, "Oh, I just couldn't handle the I wasn't prepared for the conditions. You know, you might play badly in the conditions.
You know what you're going to get.
You know
don't you?
what you're going to get. Yeah.
You could get anything in an Open Championship, which makes it absolutely spectacular. But let's just touch on this course a little bit more, and a few changes to when you played it and were the first tee off back in 2014. The 10th, I remember I was walking around and I'm commentating on the back nine on Sunday. We had a celebrity event, started off on the 10th, a 507-yard par 4. We all remember Tiger Woods staying in that bunker on the right-hand side of the green back in 2006. He managed to get out in 2, obviously a sensational 4 days for Tiger back in 2006. But a few tweaks, a new hole, we've got the new 17th, the Little Eye. What's your standout memory from 2014 and the holes that are in your mind? 14's a really tough hole. I love the 13th, which is called Alps.
That's the par 3?
Par 3, yes, after D, the 12th par 4.
I enjoyed the 13th, I remembered that. That's
gorgeous,
sort of
it's beautiful, and the green runs across.
12 and 14 are sort of feel fairly similar in your mind, sandwiched with 13, which is a glorious par 3. Yeah, absolutely beautiful.
Yeah.
Wind off the left a lot of the time as well, so not easy.
Off the D estuary.
Indeed. And then 18 and 3 are quite quirky holes, obviously around the practice ground, which this week is the tented village. That's one of the great features of this course, by the way. The fact that the tented village is in the middle of the course.
Yeah.
It's wonderful for the atmosphere. You know, the players, the fans are in there, you know, having their food and drink, and they're right, they can see it from there. They haven't got to sort of leave the property to get to the tented village. So I think it really adds to the atmosphere.
Yeah, it really does.
And those out of bounds posts that creep in on 3 and 18. I walked 18 yesterday, and it looks like a quite straightforward drive until you get down there and then you notice the out of bounds. And if you've played it blind, you just whack it down there and say, oh, that's a bit weird. When you know it's there...
It goes into a funnel neck, doesn't it?
It does, and you have to go over the out of bounds to get to the green, and that continues up round. And yeah, it's in your mind. It needs to be negotiated towards the end of this tournament. It's fascinating. It's intriguing.
It's gorgeous. The third, I did go out of bounds on the third, and what I also love about this course, the way they've placed the grandstands. Some of them are double backed, so you'll hear a cheer from, as you do at many Open Championships, but I particularly like the way they've placed them. You'll hear a cheer from one green, and on the back of it is another green. And that makes the atmosphere of an Open. If you're coming here to the Open, do bring your wet weather gear as well, because it's going to be rain's going to be sort of intermittent. We're going to do a sun dance at some point, aren't we, David? But you know, you
played.
Good
thanks for dropping me in. Yeah,
he's all right at dancing, apparently. So, but having played in Opens, what is it like? The roars, the cheers from the crowd.
Well, the Open's got a special look. I was walking the course with Richard Boxall yesterday. We started the TV compounds by the 8th hole, and we wandered on to halfway down the 8th, I think it was. And Richard said it, and he's very true. He said, if you were brought down from Mars and you were just placed here right now, he says, you would know you're at the Open. It's just got a look about it. You know, obviously it's a links course, but the way the stands are all out there and the signage, it's wonderful. If you know golf, maybe if you didn't know golf, you wouldn't know. But it's got its special look.
I love Richard Boxall.
It's an interesting old walk, and. It's very, very special. What were we talking about?
Oh no, you were answering the right thing. I was just saying about the atmosphere at Opens and the crowds.
The atmosphere, the noise, the cheers.
So as a player, when
you're
walking down fairways and you hear the cheers from different parts of the course, does it just send electricity through your body? Are those goosebumps there?
It does, but you know, the British crowds, all crowds across the globe are wonderful coming out to watch us. It's fantastic. But Scotland last week, very noticeable. Same here. You don't get huge applause for something that's not very good. You really don't. They praise you and they clap you when you do something good, but they know their golf. They know their golf. They know if it's a good chip or a bad chip.
Yeah.
You'll get some sort of appreciation for an okay one, but sometimes there's silence, and that's okay.
Oh, I'm just spotting. So you're leaving us very shortly, and Andrew Coltart will be joining us very soon. He's under an umbrella. Come on, Andrew, come over here. He's sort of loitering. How are you doing, sir?
Yeah, fine, loitering. I'm really glad that England gets the same Scottish weather that we get up north. So
come on, David, come in.
Nice to see.
Yes.
Nice to see.
So you've driven down from Scotland?
Yes, managed to make it down. Yes, and this is what we're left with. Yes.
When did you get here?
I got here last night.
Great stuff. Yeah, it's a good 4 days up in Scotland. Just saying to David about Rory's win. My goodness.
It was incredible day. I mean, I'm sure he said it, but I've not seen somebody finish off a tournament you know, with such a, you know, a couple of, you know, sensational shots. It was just one of his best wins ever.
Totally. He had 4 birdies in the last 8 holes. So birdie on 17 and on 18. And I spoke to him yesterday. There was just a cheeky smile. He was delighted to win on Scottish soil for the first time. And the great start, winning the Irish, the Scottish, and the Open. The only player to do that.
Yeah, you can see how much it means to him, and he is on good form. You're talking about that. I think, don't know what you think as well, but the graph really is starting to trend in a very positive direction again, coupled with the confidence. And I think this clearly is a sort of newfound ability really to really control the flight of the ball in windy conditions, because that's something he's not wanted to break away from his old sort of traditional swing, and now he's clearly very adept at doing that.
Yeah. Thoughts, David?
I agree with him. Yeah, very wise.
That's unusual.
Yeah.
You know. I was wondering, this is a fight.
That's unusual, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Can you disagree on something? Oh, I do want to just mention that Jordan Spieth is still on the range. He's been here for a long time. What are you smiling about?
I'm not smiling. I say nothing.
No, we did try and get a little interview, but he's in the zone, Andrew.
Yeah, well, that's quite right too.
Yeah,
absolutely.
absolutely. This is their office, isn't it? And obviously, a previous winner of the Open. My goodness, what great memories! 2017, missed the cut at the Scottish Open, didn't he?
Yeah. Look, I don't think that will bother him too much. It gives him the extra time to work on whatever it is he wants to work on. Morikawa did that a couple of years ago and went and won at Royal St George's.
Oh, come on, Andrew.
I have to question what.
It won't annoy him, missing the cut, sat there watching his mates go out on the course. You asked me to disagree with you. I'm disagreeing with you.
He's searching. He's searching.
I am questioning. What on earth are they doing hitting balls in the rain?
Yeah,
Wayne's saying that Jordan's searching.
Yes.
Good morning, Radar. Oh, is it good afternoon?
Hello, everybody. Yeah, I mean, he's searching Jordan Spieth.
Is he? Is he? Why'd you say that? Tell us.
He's he missed the cut last week and he hasn't been playing great. And he's one of those players that's searching. Hopefully he'll find it. But
missed the cut last week.
If you come to the Open Championship without your game, it's very difficult to find it at the Open.
I like that about Jordan, though, Radar.
It at the Open. That's what Radar's saying.
We've got a 4-way here. This is tricky.
He's disagreeing.
Luckily, I don't have ears in, so I can't hear what Wayne's saying.
Wayne is saying he's searching for his game. He's missed the cut last week. He's searching for his game, and he is.
Yeah, but I mean, and I think that's interesting. Maybe he's alluding to the fact that you can't really find it at an Open Championship, can you?
Well, you might do.
Well,
you don't
want to be trying to find it. Pete Cowan said yesterday, if you're trying to find it, especially by Wednesday, then you're in big trouble. And Darren Clark, actually, who we had our cameras on, he was working hard there with Pete Cowan, wasn't he? Really hard with his right elbow. Notice the right elbow trying to stay tucked in there. Okay, there's so much to talk about. Andrew, thanks for doing a little bit of extra work. You can invoice for that.
I shall. Where shall I put the decimal point?
Oh, I do. I've missed you. It's been 12 months. Oh, Andrew will be back, hopefully, and we will be back in a minute. Let's get to commentary. And Wayne, is it back up to you and Pete?
Thanks for that, guys. Yes, we are back. That was very unusual from Andrew there, demanding a bit of extra cash.
He's a Scotsman.
Yeah.
He's a Scot.
I think you might be right though about Jordan. He's got the 2 launch monitors on the go as well. If he doesn't like what one's saying, he might go to the other one.
No one putted for 3 years like this man on your screen.
When he was going through that real purple patch, it wasn't that he was putting well. It was that he was putting so unbelievably well that it will never be repeated. Like his stats from 15 to 25 feet were, I don't think they'd ever be repeated ever again. Here's a little spread of Jordan's shots. I really hoped he was aiming at all those targets. Wow, that's a lot of balls to be hit, crikey.
In the Open Championship that he won at Birkdale, I was with that, and he 13th practice fairway. How he found the ball was unbelievable. I couldn't even get over the hill. He holds an 8-footer there for a bogey. He stiffs it on the next to 3 or 4 feet, holds that. Then we get to the 15th, the par 5, holds it from 90 feet, and then 30 feet on the next he holds it from. And this is the last day of the Open. And then he holds one from 15 feet on 17, and it was Koepka. I felt so sorry for him because he was doing everything correctly, but he was just being demoralised from fiendish putting. and it was incredible.
The look on Kuchar's face after that eagle putt, it was almost like he was relegated to spectator slightly. He was like watching on and like everyone else, like, what is going on? How has he just managed to do this? Because that tee shot, when he hit it on, well, hit it onto the top of the hill, drops onto the range, that would have finished off, I would say, probably 80% of that field.
Yeah.
Like, mentally, they would have been gone.
It's incredible. Me working in the States, as I do for Sky Sports all the time, and you know, Roger Maltby, a good friend of mine, a great broadcaster who's retired now, sadly, a great broadcaster. Him and I constantly were just looking at each other and just shaking our heads. We didn't even have to say anything. And when we watched him putt, there's a space of 3 years where I've never seen anything like the putting. You know, Ben Crenshaw, they speak of being one of the great putters. Bob Charles, the New Zealander major champion, won an Open championship. But how Jordan Spieth putted for 3 years, I don't think we'll ever witness it again.
No, I don't think so. Like I said, those short putts, not oddly enough, like not his strength, but that mid-range putting is just absolutely phenomenal. It's
And
absolutely
Peter, when he was looking at the hole from inside 4 feet, now that's a talent within itself.
I mean, it is, yeah. To be honest, it's one of those things. Like when I've been coaching, I've tried it a few times with different players. If you are nervous over your putting, it does work, because pretty much any other sport where you're involving a ball, you generally will look at a target rather than actually kind of the ball. So it can work, but it is a little bit out of the norm, certainly from what people are used to, actually looking at a target rather than the ball. Same as anything with golf, whatever works. Everyone's just searching for it, aren't they? A nice little alligator pouch there.
Harris English there next to Koepka. You want a long shot? You want a long shot? I mean, don't worry about Harris English. He can play.
Well,
he can seriously play.
There's a few. Brian Harmon, who was just there as well, like stats-wise, he nets out really well at Open Championships as well.
Good swing, Harris English.
Very good, yeah.
Isn't it? It's just on plane. It's a lot of banter on a Tuesday on the range at the Open Championship.
What do you tend to find when you were playing? 'Cause yesterday it was so nice. It was just so relaxed. Everyone was chatting. Today feels maybe a little bit more business-like. Does it get a lot tenser through the week?
Tomorrow.
Yeah.
Tomorrow, there's not as much chat. In the Tuesday or Monday, Tuesday, you're in the locker room. You know, pranks everywhere. But today it's all good. How you doing? How's your mother's chickens? You just speak to everyone about anything. And then Wednesday, it's business day.
Koepka here is drilling away that driving iron, which he's had in the bag for years now. 3-iron, kind of bent down to a 2. He is one of the most impressive long iron players I think I've ever seen. There's a few players you walk down the range. Obviously, everybody hits the ball well. They wouldn't be here if they don't. But Brooks with his long irons is one of those players where it kind of stops you a little bit, and you look back at what he's doing, and you're like, wow, that is just impressive.
Well, there's a few of them, isn't there? Tiger, Rory, Brooks, Dustin. The great players, they own the golf ball. They bully the golf ball. They don't look down like us mere mortals and hope the ball goes in the right direction. Well, I don't say hope. Every dog has its day, and we all have had our day. But they own it. You are going where I tell you to go, and that's he's fan. Look, a bent left arm, and he just crunches on it. Doesn't move too much. He just crunches it. Look at that soft fade. He will use that driving iron this week a lot. He can get that out there, even in wet conditions. He can pump that out there, 260, 270. Oh, yeah. That's all you need to do. What did Tiger only hit? 1 driver or 2 drivers here?
Yeah, just the one.
Yeah.
And as we say, that gets his driver out. Yeah, that Open where Tiger only hit those irons, though, it was the ground was literally a completely different colour than it is now. It's going to be interesting what the tactics are, because earlier on this week, I'd have definitely said irons. Now, I don't know. I think driver's going to be a little bit more in play because it is getting wetter.
You can see the shape. I mean, the shapes are just tail off fades. And when that he didn't try to hit it there. He pulled that a little, that one. But when he gets that soft left to right fade, a little like his truly great friend, Dustin Johnson, when they're just leaky, 3 or 4 yard fades, that's when he's at his best. That was straight again.
when he does get going with the driver as well. His ball flight, the ball is almost bullied through the air. It is a boring, like, penetrating flight. And it's great. It's one of the best things about golf when you walk down the range at an Open. If you have like Brooks and Rory, say, next to each other, you got Rory smashing it 350. The majority of that's carry, and then you've got Brooks who's smashing it not quite as far, but not too far away. But the ball flight is so different. It's kind of penetrating, boring fade. And then you've got Rory looping those massive draws in there.
Yeah.
It's just one of the very best things about being able to walk down the range. You see all these.
He is aiming
approaches.
there.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, that's unbelievable. Those three balls he's just hit are 9 feet of each other, much to the ball picker-upper's delight.
Yeah, you're not going to be able to weave that in and out of those trees. Yeah, they're actually hitting down. There used to be a golf course here. They're hitting down one of the old holes. I'm pretty sure Royal Liverpool's bought Hoylake Golf Club now, and that's what they're hitting on. It used to be municipal over there.
Really?
Yeah. They've got a few plans to try and redevelop it if they can. There's that little peeling fade.
I only played an English Open. I didn't play an Open. This wasn't on the road to when I used to play the tour. But I played an English Open here once, and the 18th hole that they play now, it might have been the 9th, I'm not sure, but I named it Bo Derek because I had the perfect 10 on it. I remember that. A 10.
Oh, it is a very, those last two holes, 17, 18, like, what do you think is a comfortable lead to take down those holes?
3's not enough.
No, I think 5 would maybe feel a bit more comfortable. Anything can happen on that 17th with that out of bounds lurking on the right-hand side.
He's so strong, isn't he? He's just...
Yeah, that's lovely. Lovely ball flight. That wind has switched direction slightly from yesterday, blowing more into players' faces rather than off the right-hand side. All the coaches out there. Good day to be an umbrella salesman today. Forged by nature. I think that probably says all about this week. Very, very good slogan for this week, forged by nature. Hardy fans in there. Okay, I think we're going to go find Adam Scott, hopefully on the range, one of the very best swingers of the golf club. Here he is. Wow.
A lot of people say that Adam Scott and I look very similar.
I could see that. I think if
we could be twins.
Yeah, I think if I saw you on the golf course, maybe from about 500 yards away in the dark, I reckon I could see that. You're both wearing blue today.
One of the good guys. I remember when he first came out on tour, Morocco, actually. I don't forget what year it was, way back when. And we got off the plane. I didn't even know who he was. And he came up and said, would you want to have a practice round? And I said, yeah, okay. So we get in the second hole at this course in Morocco for the Moroccan Open, and it's a par 3, and I hit first, and I hit this 4-iron, and I muscled it, and a beautiful looking shot, chest puffed out, and off I went. He pulled a 6-iron, and I looked at my caddy and said, who the heck is this kid? Well, he just went as far as my 4-iron, and he was incredible. He's always had great talent. He went to school in America, in Las Vegas for a little bit, and was taught under the guidance of the great Butch Harmon for a while. But the swing is just comes from a golfing family. His dad Phil's a pro. But one of the good guys, just a gentleman, just a truly wonderful chap and a Masters champion. We're very proud of him.
Absolutely. He has got one of those swings really, which hasn't actually changed throughout his entire career. Like, you see players go through different tweaks and make a few different swing changes throughout their careers, but with Adam Scott, it's just so good he literally doesn't have to. His probably one letdown throughout his whole career has just been with the putter. Like, if he puts well, he's always going to have a chance because he hits the ball so well.
So very sad what happened to him at Troon, 3 in front with, what was it, 3 to go?
Don't.
And Ernie holed the 20-footer on the last. I mean, honestly, that was just, I cried. I couldn't believe it. He had that Open Championship in the bag, and I think it was the next year he actually went on and won the Masters, thank heavens, because yeah, that must torment him. He worked so hard at the game, but he had that Open and it just wasn't to be.
It was one of the hardest things to watch.
Yeah, it was.
Like, I felt myself, I think I ended up behind the couch, just trying to peep over the top of it to see what was going on, because it was one of those plays. He was playing so well and he was so ahead and everybody wanted him to win, and it was just, oh man.
It wasn't a Jean Van der Velde meltdown.
No, it wasn't as dramatic. It was a slow bleed, and that's what made it almost worse. It's got an interesting club in the bag. That's a mini driver.
Is it a 2-wood?
Yeah, so that's usually about 13 degrees. So yeah, flat carry about 250 yards. So that's an interesting one. It's not the type of club you can really use confidently off the fairway, so it would be very much just off the tees, this club. It's got an interesting set of clubs now, Adam Scott. Have you seen the video of him going to get his new irons?
No.
Oof, hello. Hand forged by Miura. His stamping initials on the back. He's got those in, he's got a new driving iron, now he's got a mini driver and he's got a broom handle putter. It's quite the assortment.
He's got the lot. He's even got his own aeroplane.
He's got his own plane?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Had it for a long time.
Just see his Vokey wedgie pointing out. And now he's on the full driver. Be an interesting choice if he takes his big stick out and that mini driver. There must be a few holes where he's very focused on using that club.
Or maybe he's just fiddling around with a few, just getting ready and see which one flights the best. And probably got about 16 or 17 clubs in there today, as most will have. See what works, what kind of wedges you want to take out, loft on your 3-wood. Am I going to take a 7-wood like a little Baffy? All sorts of things to work out in the practice rounds.
What are we thinking this week? I would say a majority of the tour trucks have been raided of their driving irons, I would think, this week.
I love the takeaway, I always have. It's very one piece, it's not an early wrist hinge. It's just, you just watch it. He's got one of the greatest grips. His hands look right on the golf club. He's got a 3-knuckle grip, which is, I mean, you look down on your left hand as a right-handed player, you can see 3-knuckle. Look at that. Look at how he's rehearsing that. And it's just one piece. And he just sets it at the top and just lets it go. He's into his 40s now, but hits it as far as he ever did and wants it as badly as he's ever wanted it. He's a driven guy. He really is.
He literally doesn't look any different than when he was 20. Either,
No, he doesn't. I mean, we're both blessed with good skin, see?
Fantastic. Absolutely lovely to watch. Also lovely, we have Mr. Bryson DeChambeau. If you want to talk about a contrast in styles, well, here we go. So we don't have the big cat in the field, but we do have another Tiger Christensen, amateur, who qualified. Rob McIntyre after that. I would say overall successful week last week, even though it was a slightly heartbreaking ending.
Can't believe he lost. 3 holes to go. I thought, you've got this, Robert. You've got this. You've got this Scottish Open. And Rory produces, well, fireworks at the end.
Yeah. These are the longest drives on the longest carries on the range today. A little bit into wind, so 303 is definitely nothing to be sniffed at. It looks like that looks like another mini driver. Those mini drivers, I think that was a tailor-made as well, were a very limited release. So Tour pros have got contacts to get them in there. Got the proper big stick out now again.
I love the way he swings the club. It's a one plane swing, not a lot of wrist hinge. He just basically turns his shoulders. Look, there's no hinge at all. It's a weak grip, what we call a weak grip. No, I was speaking of a 3-knuckle grip with Adam Scott, but this is a no-knuckle grip. Yes. So you can't see any knuckles, which a lot of people think that'll force you to hit the ball right.
Yeah, predominantly actually kind of hits a draw when he wants. It's a very odd kind of combination of techniques that Bryson uses, because that grip he has is absolutely massive.
Yeah.
And he actually runs it up through the palm of his left hand, holds a slightly bowed position in his left wrist, and then just holds onto it throughout the point of impact, and kind of predominantly works the ball from right to left. The changes that he's made with his body over the last few years have been absolutely remarkable. Yeah, so Bryson keeps looking over at this board that we have here at Live at the Range. This is a running track of all the data thanks to Top Tracer. But I'm sure Bryson won't be getting too competitive. Well, he won't want to be top of that leaderboard come the end of the day.
Oh, really?
It actually looks like Bryson has exactly the same setup as Adam Scott, mini driver, both tailor-made. Must have gone to the tour trucks at the same time. Yeah, he's had remarkable changes within his body, Bryson DeChambeau. He obviously went on the huge muscle building program a few years ago to hit the ball as far as physically possible. Came out the other side of it with the US Open, but wasn't feeling too healthy at the end of it, so now he started to trim down a little bit, and he's a kind of happy combination of not as thin as he was, not as chunky as he was. He's just athletic now, built for the long term.
Getting back to where he was.
Got some deep pockets out there as well, crikey. Carrying some luggage.
It's a good swing, fantastic rhythm, athletic swing.
It's very unique to him as well. He definitely does things his own way and trusts his own process. Doesn't try and conform. Yeah, those, I've had to go with his grips. Radar, I've had to go with his grips.
No, they're thick, aren't they?
They are unbelievable. I've got a
cricket bat handles.
Yeah, I've got a version of those on my clubs, like the thinner grip, and they are massive. I'd like to say that I now play like Bryson, but it's not quite worked out. Stepping away. I wonder if he's just working stuff out, or he's planning to actually get out on the course. Looks like the rain might be setting in for today.
Yeah, it's here all afternoon.
Yeah. Got Wacky Neiman next to Bryson as well. Might not be a bad outsider for this week. Back onto the driving iron for Bryson, I think. Yeah, just holds that left wrist nice and flat, drives through.
High hands.
Yeah, yeah.
And just turns.
Yeah, if you do get a chance to actually watch your swing in slow motion, like Radar was saying, it is very much based along the principle of one plane, so taking it back and through along the same path.
His clubs are so upright. This must be 4 degrees upright.
I think it's more. I think it's over like 6 or 7.
Is it?
Yeah. So they're very upright. Obviously, all the same length as well in the irons. Like I say, he just does things his own way.
He's swinging it as good as I've seen him swing it.
Absolutely.
And I've watched him in the States. He won in one of the playoffs in New Jersey a few years ago, and I watched him win comfortably. He's incredible. We don't see him as much now.
No,
Obviously, he's gone to the Live Tour. And
he seems a little bit more, from the interviews that he's done and from what he's been saying recently, he does seem a little bit more settled. Seems like he's kind of falling back in love with the game a little bit. His focus did seem to drift a little bit for a few years. Obviously, he had a few injuries as well.
$100 million and make anyone feel settled.
Do you think that'd take the appetite away slightly? Do you not think you'd be out there grinding at 6 in the morning if you had 100 million in the bank? Yeah. Yeah, if we get another slow-mo of Bryson swing, we can have a little chat through. Yeah, this isn't something which we'd overly recommend, but you can see kind of halfway back there how that left wrist has started to bow, arms pretty straight. You see, there's not masses of wrist hinge there at the top, because all he's trying to do is move that position, that connectedness of the arms, simply through impact. And it's a swing which is incredibly repeatable, actually quite simple, but very hard to get used to and to master, because it is very, very different than what a lot of the other players out there are doing.
What about the pockets? He's got a phone in there the size of a telephone directory. He's got two golf balls in his right pocket.
Nice.
How strange.
Is it just me, or are those pockets oddly deep as well? Like those 3 golf balls are literally down by his kneecap. Wow. Wow, crikey. Just needs a nice little bum bag, doesn't he? A little carry pouch.
Needs something.
Well, listen, as long as he's got everything on hand that he needs. So we are back, looks like again, onto that mini driver. I mean, if we've seen it a couple of times down on the driving range, I don't think it's a coincidence. If a few people are trying it out, then probably see it a few more times as well. There are a few holes out there that do require a long tee shot, but might run into trouble with a full big stick. So the advantage of a mini driver, there's a little bit more loft on there. It's a little bit more powerful than a 3 would. But yeah, it isn't as adaptable as a normal 3, so be an interesting choice if that's actually out there.
You never see Bryson DeChambeau, Peter, hitting wedges, really, do you? Always see him hitting full shots.
Well, they're more fun, aren't they?
Yeah, but you look at Tiger, you look at Rory now. Rory's working on the wedges like you can't believe. Last week he was phenomenal, flattening them out. He's over there having a chat with Tim Barter, Sky Sports' Tim Barter. Tim will be searching. He'll pick his brain. Go on, Timmy, get in there. Go on, Timmy.
So why are you not working on your wedges? You need to be able to hit those wedges.
What about that hair?
Yeah, you won't win if you don't.
Good lie for a 3 wood.
He does have exceptional hair, doesn't he?
Yeah, in the wind it doesn't budge. It doesn't move. One of the great interviewers, Tim Barter.
Yeah, he's good, isn't he?
He's very good, yeah.
Definitely somebody to aspire to.
Don't tell him.
Oh, he's not listening. We're okay. Nobody let him know. Who else have we got down there? Adam's still down there, still on his irons, working back down to the bag. Having a wander down those end bays. Yeah, you can see quite a few people still in the grandstands, umbrellas up. It's one of the great things about the Open Championship, the range is you can just plonk yourself there for half a day and watch some of the very best players in the world go through their routines. Definitely recommend it if you are coming here. Okay, we're going to take a quick break and then we will head back.
We're told that the weather forecast for today is kind early on, for the possibility of some wet weather later.
I think Mother Nature kicks it up another notch.
Quite extraordinary. What a moment.
Well, I've found two very special guests this week, and I say guests, but we're really the guests in your backyard. We've got Laura and Andy Jordan, parents of Matthew Jordan, who's made final qualifying and at the Open, and he's hitting the first tee shot as well. Can you guys run us through what an emotional and fun week this is?
Yeah, it's really exciting. It's lovely to be down here. Obviously, it's a familiar place. We're only a few minutes away at home, so it's easy to get to. We've met up with a lot of friends and family who are supporting Matthew and down here to enjoy the golf as well, so it's really good fun.
How amazing is it to see your backyard transform like this and for your son to be hitting the very first tee shot?
That's it. I mean, it's to see the course how we're used to it. There's no tents, no anything like that, and I watched my son playing golf, you know, over the years when he's a little lad, and then for it to be transformed like this, and then you've got the stand on the first tee, and he's hit the tee shot there. Yeah, it's pretty special for me and for Laura as well.
Yeah, that final qualifying, it created some amazing images and some great atmosphere. What was it like to see your boy qualify at the last minute to get into this home Open?
Yeah, it was really good. I actually went with him, so I was there walking the 36 holes. So, yeah, to shoot 7 under in the first round was just brilliant, and just gave him, you know, a good grounding for the second 18, and yeah, it was a fantastic moment. A lot of the boys that he grew up playing golf with here came to watch and to support him, which was fantastic, and yeah, we were all excited.
How many people can we expect on that first tee on Thursday? I'm sure the members, they're very loyal here. I'm sure there'll be plenty.
We've been seeing a few today, and yeah, they're always like, we're going to be there on the first tee, so yeah, I'm amazed actually, because it's 6:35, but yeah, I'm sure he's going to have a massive support. I wonder, you know, after the first tee, I wonder how many members are going to walk with him. So probably all the whole Royal Liverpool will be walking around with him. So it's going to be good.
Proud parents?
Absolutely.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah,
doesn't get much better than this, does it?
That's right. Yeah, it's you know, we go. You know, it takes us about half an hour to walk from here to the 11th green, because you just meet up with everyone. Everyone's wishing us luck, and yeah, it's a great atmosphere.
Well, I'm going to wish you luck as well. It's going to be a special week, so enjoy it, soak it all in, and thank you very much for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Cheers. Thanks.
Okay, it must be an amazing experience for Matt, who is, like I said, a local boy, junior member here, and now hitting the first tee shot of the Open Championship. That is very, very cool. Hopefully I'll have a few members out watching at 6:30 in the morning. Okay, back down to the range. Yeah, I was saying just before the breakout here, if you do get a chance to come down to the Open and plonk yourself down on that grandstand, looking at the players go through their routines, it's very much worth it.
Absolutely, and you won't see the flags this week as still as they are today. It's just a perfect day to practice, put the work in today, and they'll be all mindful of that. Every single player in this field. It's a good day to get your rhythm, and if the wind kicks up, you don't practice anywhere near as much, spend more time on your short game, because that's going to be needed this week out here. Bunker play.
Absolutely.
And get ready for Little Eye.
Even this wind today, which is like 10, 12 miles an hour, it's straight into as well, so not a bad wind to be practicing some stingers in. Got some nice little cameras down here on the range as well, literally right in front of the camera. The worm cam, the mole cam, gopher cam, any other burrowing animals?
No, I love your work. I love your work.
Worm cam works, yeah. Fortunately, we have some exceptional players at the Open, so I would think these cameras are safe. Like if this was a Pro-Am, I'm not entirely sure.
No Pro-Am at the Open.
Absolutely not. Did have the Celebrity Invitational on Sunday, though. If you've not checked that out on the Open YouTube channel, make sure you do. Now, a couple of absolute stripers here. Ryan Fox. Absolutely love to watch Ryan Fox hit balls. Minwoo Lee as well. Really, really good players. Kind of established himself over the last few years.
Both temporary membership over there on the PGA Tour this year. They've played well enough to unlimited invites available to them. Both of them.
Yeah, Ryan Fox, again, one of those players who, when he hits shots, it stops you a little bit because the compression that he gets on his irons and the fizz that he has. Yeah. It's unbelievable.
If Ryan Fox or Minwoo Lee were to win this championship, it wouldn't be a surprise, would it?
No, absolutely not.
You know, they have the goods to win something like this. And yeah, it might just happen this week. It might happen. Someone who you don't expect to win it. We've obviously got the favourites up there on the board, but you know, there's so many guys that it could happen.
And both those players are tour winners around links courses as well. So they have a little bit of pedigree. Robert Rock there having a bit of a grind with his players as well. And live at the range this year, we do have a new feature where we're able to talk to players, and I believe that we're going to be able to go down and have a chat to Minwoo Lee.
Hello, guys.
Minwoo, Raider, how's it feeling?
Good.
Flushing?
Yeah, that was flush.
Cool. What are you working on, mate? Just getting the rhythm.
I think we'll end it there.
I was going to say that was an exceptional one to come to you on. That sounded unbelievable.
We got 186, 187. So that's how far it's going.
All right. 186, 187. What have you got in your hands there?
I've got a 4-iron. This is meters. So I'm just right now. I'm just hitting 10 shots, trying to get it within my proximity with a 4-iron. Should be on camera more.
Look at that. Wow. All you need to do just this week, just think about, just have those earbuds in all week. Just have a wander around, we'll have a chat. It'll be good.
Yep.
Are you looking forward to, do you want the wind to kick up this week? Perth
yes
boy,
and no.
Royal Fremantle, blow a dog off a chain there.
I mean, I think everyone at the Scottish had a bit of an experience on the Sunday, so
Didn't do you any harm a couple of years ago.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to get that windy. So right now it seems pretty easy actually, but it's not easy. It's not easy.
The golf course is loving this rain.
The course is looking really nice.
We're looking at your grip now. Really good. How many knuckles can you see looking down there? 2?
2.
Yeah.
Left hand 2 knuckles.
With your TrackMan there, have we got this on normalised mode going into the wind?
No, not normalised. So I usually hit this about 205 metres, which is about 225 yards to 230 yards. So yeah, right now it's only going 185 to 190 metres. So there's about like a 10 to 15 yard wind.
How many of you are there out there now working in metres? I know the great Seve worked in metres. There aren't too many of you, but most of the players are yards, yeah?
Yeah, a lot. I would probably say like 5% of us are in metres. I've tried to change into yards, but it's too difficult. I always convert it back to metres. So,
well, that's what we were taught at school in Australia.
Exactly.
Swinging it absolutely pure from here. Wow. Lovely. What are you thinking approach-wise from the tees this week, Minwoo? I've heard a few people talking about drivers being a little bit more in play than they might have been without this rain.
For me, not too many drivers. I mean, we just play the front 9 there and I hit about 1 driver, so not too many times. You obviously seen Tiger play out here, and it was burnt out back then. But I think we can learn a lesson there and try not to hit into the pot bunkers because they're very penalising. So.
Do you remember that?
A lot of 2-iron and 3-irons.
Do you remember Tiger winning? Did you watch that on television? You must have been about 6.
No, I didn't. I was a 1998 boy, so no.
No, 2006, wasn't it?
Yeah, I was born in 1998, so.
So you're 8?
Yeah, I was 8. Yeah, so not really. I was playing with
your Rubik's Cube.
Yes, exactly, and cars and toys. So not at the golf stage there. I just started golf at 8 actually. You guys can be with me every time.
You're flushing, yeah?
I don't think I've flushed it this hard in a long time.
That's what we want. That's what we want.
Middled, wow.
It'd be nice to see the proximity on all those shots.
Yeah, you could probably throw a duvet over those ones, I think.
Yeah, that's pretty good. I'll take that. 4 more. All right.
Shape-wise, out there, Minwoo, what are we looking at? Little peely fades or?
More draws for me.
More draws.
I'm more comfortable hitting low draws than low cuts, so draws for me. Or straight. But the wind will obviously affect the way you hit it, but I'm very comfortable with hitting a little draw.
Yeah, that's nice too. That's nice.
There's quite a few holes out there that really favour that shape as well. So
yes,
penetrate the breeze.
Whereabouts are you within your practice session here? I mean, were you kind of approaching the end of it with the long irons, or are you searching for something specifically?
No, just kind of getting it grooved in a little bit. I didn't have a great range session before the practice round today, but just because there's shape out there on the course makes it easier for me to see the shot. Right here, it's just an open field, so it's kind of tough for me, a field player, to just hit it straight and try to see the shots. So it's actually quite nice when there's bunkers that actually shape the course.
Is it a golf course that you love, Minwoo? Is it one of those that you stood on the first tee and you fell in love with? Is it a love affair, Hoylake and you?
It's a very patient golf course. It's not a course where you can overpower, and it's quite different from the way I play, but it's also very nice to play. I have played decent on tough tracks, so it's nice to, you know, plod it along and hit some irons off the tee and try not getting too much trouble.
Like you were saying, trying to stay out the trouble, out those bunkers this week on the fairway is going to be absolutely key. Have you managed to get up to the 17th yet?
Yes, I have. 2 weeks ago, so I'm going to go back there tomorrow. But it was brutal. If it's playing into the wind,
which is the prevailing wind,
yeah, and howling, I mean,
6-iron.
If you hit it short into that first bunker, you're in trouble.
Yeah, you might not come out with that.
Yep, you're in trouble, so don't try do that. Under pressure, it'll be a really good hole. All right, we're back on.
Still sounding good out there?
Yeah.
If you are going to be hitting irons off the tees as a strategy, what tends to be the club that you use?
2-iron usually, but some of these holes it does run out too far. So I might have 3-iron in the bag and take 3-wood out, but it just all depends on the day.
Yeah.
I've watched you many times, and we're in the respect of that. You've got that Tiger stinger as well, haven't you, that chases out?
Yeah, I'll show you in a couple of shots.
Yeah,
please do.
We were
please
we
do.
were gently trying to steer you in there to that, but that's fantastic.
That was a big sneeze. If you heard that from someone.
I was going to say, if someone could go check that they're okay.
Oh, that's not good. Done.
A little bit more of a cutty one. Have you got anything that you're working on in your swing at the moment, Minwoo? Are you just like really trying to get some decent feels before the week begins?
Yeah, I'm not really the one to tinker too much.
Good.
I like to just hit draws and fays and try to have a swing feel for them, and off we go.
Simplify it all, yeah.
Just very simple. What do you want me to do? With the same? Am I trying to hit more tee shots or just more four? Okay. So like kind of like that. Just
how's that weather looking out there, Minwoo? Is there any breaks in that cloud?
Sorry, say that again?
Is there any breaks in that cloud up there? Is it solid?
Nah.
Ouchie.
So there's a bit of character building out here right now.
Oh, I think the slogan for this year is forged by nature, so, you're taking that seriously. I like that.
What club's this now?
Same. Just trying to perfect the draw a little bit more.
Yep.
That'd be good. So right now, the draws that I've been hitting are starting a bit too far left, so just trying to start it a bit further right.
Okay.
Good. How are you guys, by the way?
Yeah, we're not too bad. I mean,
Staying warm?
Yeah, we're sitting in a nice padded
nice.
hut here. To be honest, I've just stripped down to my t-shirt, so. From where we're sitting, it's a beautiful British summertime, and from what I'm looking at, it's a British summertime.
It's actually not too bad.
Yeah, it's relatively light.
Yeah, it's a lot more people out here than I thought, so
yeah, I think
can't be that bad.
No, I think from what I've seen for the rest of the week as well, it is going to brighten up as well. So have a nice combination of decent weather and a slightly softer course. So we were saying trying to just start this draw a little bit further to the right.
Yes. So those last few have been pretty nice.
Yeah, is that kind of like a feeling thing as far as just getting the, is that a ball position, swing feeling?
More just getting to really know just how last couple swings. I mean, as golfers, you kind of correct it pretty quick, and we know what we're doing. So if you don't want to start it left, it's not that hard. Just don't close the face as quick.
Oh, a little Arnie finish there, Min Woo.
Just preparing for the worst. How does that look? That looks good. Yeah.
Has Minji been in touch? Wishing you all the best?
She's actually going to come out here on the weekend, I think.
Is she?
Yeah, so.
She'd be looking forward to Walton Heath in a few weeks.
Yeah, exactly.
That's a great course.
Yeah, I love that course. We did some US Open qualifying there and had a tournament there. So
yeah,
had the European Amateur actually back when I was an amateur. So
how'd you go?
Not good, but it's a fun course.
Love the honesty.
So I'm just trying to cut up a little bit here.
Yeah, some nice little sawn off there.
Lovely there.
Lovely, there we go. Painting pictures out there now.
Get that thing to come down softly.
So what are the changes in the feelings here to get that cut? So just aim left, swing across?
Aim left and swing across and just keep my follow through low, I guess. I'm just trying to hit the low cut.
Loving the grip. Taught from a young age that grip. It just looks right, Minwoo.
Yeah,
really cool grip.
Making the game sound easy out there today, Minwoo.
I try to, but it has to happen at the right time on the golf course. I mean,
it will.
Last week I've probably hit it flush for the first 3 days, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and then on the first hole, which is the 10th hole at Scottish, hit it into a pop bunker and make doubles. So golf is golf.
Yeah.
Has there ever been a brother and sister combination, both winners of majors? Has that ever happened, Minwoo?
No, but I gotta lift my butt.
Oh, that's really good there, mate.
Yeah. Moving through that, lovely. Very nice.
Pulling the chief.
No, I'll show you the 2-iron.
Yeah. Yeah, what I'm talking about.
Hopefully the camera can get it.
Oh, we've got it. We've got these.
You got it?
We've got Mr. Squiggle on the screen here. We're seeing everything.
Where am I? Where's the camera? Is it in front of me or behind me?
It's one just in front of you, just there, yeah.
Got 2 of them.
Yeah. If you could try not to aim at them, though. I mean, it would look dramatic, but they're doing a great job.
So how high is this going to go? Is this going to be a stinger with run? Oh, there you go.
How far will it go? Depends. If I hit a normal one, it would probably go 250 yards.
Is this your go-to club off the members first as we play the championship this week? 3.
Sorry,
dog leg from left to right, outside the clubhouse. The dog leg from left to right, number 3. Have you played it yet?
Yes.
Is that your go-to club that you've got in your hand off that tee?
No. We're just going to try to keep it short of the right.
Yeah, the little hump.
OB rough and hit a 4-iron. But I did today hit a 2-iron cut up and it was actually quite nice. So yeah, just depends on the wind.
Okay, let's see this 2-iron.
Ooh, soft draw.
So that's more my normal. I'll get into my low one in a bit, but just going to get the feel of
Okay.
Normal stance, normal ball position.
Lovely.
Fantastic.
Lovely weapon
Thanks
to
for
have
your time, mate.
in the bag. Well, I mean, we're going to leave you there. We're going to let you grind away, pal.
All right, let me hit a stinger. Wait.
Okay.
Hold it.
Waiting. Love it. Love this.
This camera might be in trouble. There you go.
Ah, there we go.
You're a
That was
champion,
nice.
bud. You're a champion.
Amazing. Cheers, baby. Good luck this week,
Thank you.
bud.
Really great to hear from Minwoo Lee and the guys in the box. Andrew, I know you couldn't hear that, but Minwoo Lee just said, "Oh, just wait. I just want to hit another stinger." So he hit a low stinger. My goodness, he doesn't realise that we've got to get off air, does he?
Well, he's a great kid. A terrific career ahead of himself. He's had a sterling year out there on tour, so he's just bubbly. He loves it. Loving the challenge.
Let's have a little walk down here. And, obviously won the Scottish Open a couple of years ago, so he doesn't mind these conditions.
No.
It's great to be down here. If you see in the corner, actually, Kev, our cameraman, Victor Hovland is grinding away at the end of the range. Andrew, just your thoughts on Victor?
Yeah, well, I think he's got a great chance. He's been very prominent in the last few majors. He was second in the PGA Championship, 7th at the Masters. 22, Bay 22 he's in. 7th at the Masters, top 20 at the US Open. Good performance during, the middle 2 rounds last week. He got off to a slow start, but got himself back in there and had a chance. Yeah. Very outside chance, but he's a great player, great asset to the Europe's Ryder Cup side.
Absolutely.
And can play in the wind because obviously a university in Oklahoma down there, it's pretty breezy down there, so he knows how to contend with different ball flights.
Yeah, I was watching around the short game area yesterday, and I was just mesmerised with the skill, the talent.
Yeah, that is actually sort of one aspect of his game that he does work tremendously hard on, because technically he has little flaws in there, but when he's confident, obviously that helps. But sometimes if he just has an off day, that can maybe be his Achilles heel.
Okay, you're walking a bit slower than me.
Oh, am I sorry?
Yeah.
Can you didn't realise we were in a rush.
Trying to give the viewers a taste of the range if you are tuning in for the first time. Raining here. We're going to be back at 2 o'clock. Iona Stephen will be joining us. But thank you for joining me, Andrew.
That was short and sweet, wasn't it?
Short interlude.
That was tremendous.
We only want you on for a little bit. I'm joking. Hopefully the sun will be out later, but we're not too sure. But more from live at the range, 2 till 6 this afternoon. From myself and Andrew, goodbye.